Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Michigan's getting rolled. Let's go. This is the A2D Roundtable. We are live from the Real Talk Studios. Welcome, family. We got a ton to talk about. We are brought to you by both our sponsors, our certified public accountant, Make Him Yours, Gibson Mayer LLC. Find them on the web, gibsonmayer.com, as well as the doc. We got him on every Sunday morning talking injuries around the NFL. Our doc, got to make him yours. Specialized Physical Therapy LLC. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. The Roundtable Show, we got people up in the goddamn ranters, and we got guys on the chairs right now. Tom Arnone, Michael Mataraki, Brian Wilson, Chrome, Frank Vespi on the ones and twos. We got Lutman up there. We got Daly. We got Brodo, Screw Ralph.
What a fucking
And we got Pete Evans up there that we love.
Jebediah.
Up in the 700 level.
The 700 level. And you remember, on the Super Bowl Roundtable, we actually had family jump from the 700 level, which really set the tone for Super Bowl Sunday. Family, this is a lot looking back and a lot looking forward. It's going to be a fun show. 2019 predictions. So we'll predict like the headlines, your breakout stars, the franchise best position to have success, and some hot takes and bold predictions as well. We'll go to 2018 year-end awards. So that's a variety of awards that Chrome has somewhere hidden on probably his phone with all the awards that we're going to be reading out there. The 2018 national headlines.
The Slammies.
So biggest stories from outside of Philadelphia, as well as, top athletes of the year and stuff inside Philly as well. And the 2018 highlights, and we'll go back each organization's best and worst moments and moments that define seasons, and we'll do our standout and breakout athletes of 2018. And everything ties in to our poll question, which we're going to have a lot of fun with, and there can be another in this too. We got to give you four. They only give you four options. You can't go more.
How many?
Four. How old are you? I'm 40. I'm a man. But our
he's
poll,
a man. He's 40.
Or not yet. 36. I'm a man. Poll question: who is the Philadelphia Sports Athlete of the Year in 2018? And you might know where I'm going with just the jacket, but Joel Embiid, Nick Foles, Claude Giroux, Aaron Nola. And as we see what we did, we took somebody from each team. Right. Now, there's probably others. There's a lot of others.
Sure.
When you're going back to 2018.
So we have Aaron Nola, Joel Embiid, Nick Foles, and
Roman Reigns.
Thought it was Jesus for a second. I was going to say Jesus.
Jesus.
Winner.
Well, he was late.
Ooh, yeah. He was late. So, family, we want to know, to the poll question, who's your Philadelphia Sports Athlete of the Year?
Hold on. Wills, cheers.
Cheers.
We got beers. Crow.
Cheers.
PBR.
All right,
Cheers.
Mellow Yellows.
We got
Mellow Yellows. Let's go.
The one time a year we're allowed to drink on camera, the round table?
You can drink on camera every show if you want to. It's just guys go late and they got work the next day. Not everybody's built for that.
Oh, I am.
I never said you said you three weren't.
As am I.
Never said you three weren't.
Hi-oh.
But family, to our poll question, you can vote on it. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. A2D Radio is where you can find us. We'll read out your questions, comments, whatever you got. And if you want to talk just Eagles into tomorrow, we'll answer them questions as well. Yeah. Sixers,
we got
comments,
we got a show
everything.
Tomorrow morning.
Everything. And yeah, we'll have a show tomorrow morning as well before the game. But everything's open tonight.
Tom will shoot 5 videos between now and then.
No, I'm not going to have it at me.
4 that
I'm
will
not
be
gonna have it at me.
unwatchable.
This is 4 will be unwatchable. Go fuck yourself. Okay? That's the only thing unwatchable.
Here we go.
Start up.
All right?
Start it
Be
up.
real on why people tune in Sunday. For me and sleeps. You have nothing to do with it.
That's right.
You have zero to do with it.
You're right.
You're just around.
Uncle
you're right.
Sweeps.
You look, I put it, I'm a great locker room guy. I didn't say just,
How
and
great
sometimes Trek.
How great of a locker room guy are you?
You just found out.
Oh.
He just Tanya Harding me on camera. Great guy.
Bop.
Great.
All right, boys. So right to the poll.
Lead pipe.
Right into it. Chrome, we'll start with you and work our way around the room.
I'm going to go a little bit different because I'm looking at this list and I'm talking about guys. For me, I'm looking at it as who really emerged this year. And for me, it's actually Aaron Nola. Because I feel like Nola, we had that year previous where you saw the glimpses of potentially being a top ace in this league. And last year, it just rolled. And to me, we know the talent that JoJo is, and JoJo had a phenomenal year. Obviously, Nick Foles bought us our first championship, and Claude Giroux, it was like time turned back. He had a really huge year overall last year. But to me, if I'm looking at a young, emerging star, a guy who came into this league and was really touted as maybe being a high-end number 3 in a rotation –
Low 2, yeah.
absolutely.
See, I don't
To me, Aaron Nola is the athlete that emerged of everybody this year in Philadelphia.
But this is the guy who pitched Friday nights.
Did you just wave him
Yeah,
off?
did you just see this?
Let the guy finish.
He did. I thought he was at the. It was at the end. I was letting you know that I was coming in with something.
Oh, this
because
is great.
let's not act
This
like
is
Aaron.
great.
You made it. You
Thanks,
spun it like Aaron
We're
Nola.
3 minutes in and Wilson's waving
Yeah,
him off.
that's how you get smacked in the fucking mouth.
Decline.
First off, I owe you slaps.
Then you can slap me at some
Don't
point.
start.
All right.
Slapsgiving hasn't started yet.
Slapsgiving has not
Slapsgiving.
started yet. Slap it.
Oh.
The thing about Aaron Nola, the only thing I don't agree with what you said was this was a guy that pitched Friday nights at LSU. This was a guy that was a top 10 pick of the draft. This was a guy that just because
But a lot
some
of people didn't say
hold
two,
on
though. They
because
didn't
some
say two.
jabrones didn't because he wasn't throwing 98 and they didn't project him as a number 1
That's
doesn't
fine.
mean that he wasn't drafted to be number 1. But everything else, I 100% agree with you on when it comes to Aaron Nola. But he was still drafted with the same impact
Right.
that a Joel was supposed to have, though.
Oh, yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
I agree.
Because of where he was selected and how big of a star he was at LSU.
But I don't think anybody saw this guy emerging as potentially a top 10 pitcher, starting pitcher in this league. And this year,
And a top
I
3
think-
Cy Young
and
candidate.
Yeah, and particularly a guy
I'd
who,
say he was top 5 maybe this year.
yeah,
No, I mean, that's a good point. That's a good point,
and that's my
though.
thing is,
Yep.
yeah, he was going to be a number 1. They drafted him to be a future number 1, even though a lot of people figured 2 or 3. He solidified himself this year by having 2 phenomenal years back to back. That he is here to stay and is going to be one of the best pitchers.
Yeah,
in this league.
he's
He's a superstar.
he's the ace of the staff. There's no question.
Yep. And one of the best pitchers in baseball. And he showed
I
that.
absolutely
To your
agree.
point, the last like half of the year before, his numbers were
Yeah,
the
he
only
shut
guy.
down.
It all clicked.
The only guy better or even comparable was Clayton Kershaw. Remember?
Yep.
So he had a real big second half that led into last year. But
Wow.
that's why he's on the list. It's a great name.
And Kershaw can't stay healthy. So.
No. And that's a great name. Wells.
I mean, I know where you're going to go. So, I mean, I'm gonna go with Nick. You got to go with Nick. He gets us the trophy that we've been waiting for our whole lives, and now he's back in, and the magic seems to be continuing. So, let's roll. I'm excited for tomorrow.
Roll Tide.
I'm excited for tomorrow. I'll tell you that.
I'm excited for tomorrow too.
Yeah.
I mean, just the fact that you beat Brady,
Yep.
you beat, and it's not even like
You didn't beat Jacksonville.
It's not the crumb Cowboy fans. If it was Jacksonville, would have came out and been like, "You beat Jacksonville," No, we beat the best, maybe the best coach, probably the best quarterback of all time, in the biggest game. That's why it's got to be Nick.
And listen, we got reciprocation too for 2004-05.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That was huge.
Andy Demara chiming in goes Ertz. That's another good name.
Yeah.
Talk about breaking the tight end
he's definitely
reception record in a year. That's a great name.
He's definitely emerged as a superstar in the last year.
Yeah, no question.
Ertz has.
Mike,
Plus the big touchdown in the Super Bowl.
you going G?
Fuck no.
Bry? G? G? Okay.
Look, here's the thing.
Matty? Where's Matt? G?
I do love G though.
At this point, like you could pick any of these 4 names on the list, and you're not going to go wrong. And I love every point that Crow made about Nola. I want to go with Joe. The only thing that's stopping me from going with Joe is the fact that if you rewind back to last year, Sixers finished off the season last year on a 16-game winning streak, and he wasn't a part of any of it.
A lot of it, yeah.
Yep.
Now, granted, he's probably, if you stop the NBA season right now, he's top 2 in the MVP voting. But I got to go with Wills.
5.
Like, okay, top 5. Either way. Either way, I got to go with Wills. Like, there's one guy
Yep.
who brought us a Lombardi.
gotta be.
I had a fucking tattoo on my shit. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You
it's
could have
true.
left that part out.
Mikey finally grew up and got a tattoo.
Hey! But I mean,
I don't have any.
like,
You don't put bumper stickers on
I mean,
Ferraris.
Grow up,
I mean,
Peter
here's the
Pan.
thing.
No bumper stickers on Ferraris, okay?
He does his job better than anybody in Philadelphia sports right now. He stands there on the sideline with a clipboard until he's called upon, and then when he's called upon, he goes in and he wins us a goddamn Lombardi trophy.
Uh-huh.
So for me, it's Nicky Six.
And it's rolling right
And
now.
it's rolling right now.
rolling again.
Both of you guys, listen, all three are spot on. That's why the names are on the list. So I'll go outside of the box, and I'll try to figure out a way to make Joe, the athlete of the year. Now, I get that that run started without him, and that's why I gave a lot of credit. Nobody talked about how great of a coaching job Brett Brown did last year.
Agreed.
Everybody wants to ignore that in the moment of this year when you lose to the Celtics.
Absolutely agree.
I got to look at it like this. That was his first year that he actually played a significant amount of time for this basketball team and this organization.
Without time restrictions.
Yeah, that's the year we waited for. And when you're talking about a guy that was averaging a point a minute at points of the season last year before he got hurt, to me, he's like how I believe Carson was when he was healthy. You know, a locker room and a franchise changer for the things he brings. He brings energy back to the city of Philadelphia. Now, he settled down on social media because his girlfriend, he gave credit to her for slowing him down. But there was nobody better. This guy was the go to social media. This guy made Sixers basketball fun again. Okay, all them things that we couldn't say before this. Ben, love Ben. But is Ben going to change it personality-wise that Joe did? No. Is there a guy in this city personality-wise that everybody can say, you know what, if they like or don't like what he says, you know, you can always respect that it's from the heart and in the moment. And, you know, when you talk about wanting the ball at the end of games, we beg for superstars in this city to want the basketball or want the football to make a big play or want the ball in a big game for baseball or, you know, whatever the case may be.
Coming into play.
Yeah, you want your stars to want that. And to me, that's why Joel is the 2018 Athlete of the Year, because he brought Sixers basketball back and on the map. And he started by shit-talking before he even played a game. And that led into this. We always wonder, will the shit talk convert? Right?
Back it up.
And what we found out in 2018 is all this shit-talking, you can keep it going because it works. And then the other night he says, I would have dropped 40 if I would have talked shit on Rudy, you know, all game. and I love that because it's like, you're right. Because we saw him as soon as you started running. As soon as you started running your mouth, you started playing.
Rudy fouled him out, though.
Yeah, well, Rudy's a damn good center. Yeah,
Rudy's damn good.
That's the toughest center.
I like Rudy a lot.
You're right. That's the toughest center he'll go up against.
It's a very tough matchup for him too, because he's a very good defender and he's as long as Joel is. So,
but that to me is
he'll
separate.
He'll have another one tonight in Portland too.
I agree with everything you said there, and he's the personality of the city. He's like if you're looking at one guy as the personality of the city right now, it's Joel Embiid. Yeah, so that's why I'll agree with everything you said. I'd like him to want the ball on the post in closing seconds
instead of at the 3-point line.
Well, that's where he wants it, but yeah.
But yeah.
That's an argument for another day. But all names are great. You got tons of family chiming in.
How much, though, do I wish I lived in South Philly, like during the summer when he's out running ball, like in the playground on South Street?
With the family.
Just
I
chilling
just
with
want
the
to
fam.
toss out the basketball over a fence to him and have him bury it. We just get it on camera.
I really do want to give like an honorable mention, though, to Claude Giroux, because you talk about a guy that everybody had this guy written off, that he's getting over the hill.
Chasing the fucking
This
hug.
Ginger was
Come on.
He came
You
last year.
gingers always stick together.
He's in my ginger gang. That is a fact.
Obviously.
He told me that.
Oh.
That is a fact. That's a story for another day. But, no, listen, a guy who everybody had him written off. And last year, you talk about a team that was still in their process, so to speak, and they exceeded a lot of expectations last year. That's separate from this year, obviously. But he became the catalyst and the leader that they needed last year, and that ended up producing a playoff run. So, you know, for a guy that they wrote him off, he had one of his – it might have been his best year he's had in his entire career.
I think it was his best all-around year.
He made it a lot of fun last year to watch the Flyers as well. He was a huge, huge catalyst. What's that? Only 103 points. That's it. No big deal. NBD.
Although it's funny because so we posted
Gingers, brother.
We posted a
Ginger
video
power.
yesterday with his comments about how he can't have that turnover and overtime of the a big game like that. And Jamie Lasher actually hit me up on Facebook and he said, "Do you think it's time to trade him?" And as much as I hate to say it, I actually do.
I agree. I think it's time to move him. He's your best asset right now.
A, you give him an opportunity to win somewhere else.
Correct.
But B, you could bring in players that can help you win next year because the Flyers system is loaded, but they're all 2 to 3 years away.
Right.
And if you want to start this rebuild with a new coach and a new GM next year, you need some NHL ready talent.
Agreed. I agree.
Real thing, another honorable mention, right? That's not on the list.
I don't know.
That Carter.
I don't know about all that.
But you thought about it for a while.
I did. I thought about it 2 seconds right there.
That's a lie. It was 3.5. I timed you. Son of a bitch.
I don't know. You can't. I don't like trading your. I never think that you get better by trading your best player.
It depends what you get back, too.
It's the same
Right,
reason,
but-
like, if I
Fair.
was the Angels, I wouldn't trade Mike Trout.
Completely
But there's,
fair.
there's
I get that.
There's always the argument of, well, you never know. So if you go on a run and you don't have that
if
player.
If we're talking
But
that we're doing
realistically,
a full,
this team is not winning in the next
no,
couple of years.
Well, they're not going to win this year, that's for sure.
They could actually, I think, by trading him, it could speed up the process a little, because, like Mike said, we're talking 2 or 3 years away. Now you could get some talent
some
that's
offensive
1 year
talent.
away or 2 years away.
Listen,
My
and you
problem is I
kind
feel
of
like,
move that up a
what we
little
need
bit.
is offensive talent, and when we trade him, we're trading our best
No,
offensive
and you're
player.
right. That's a
Guys, you got to look at
well.
this, though.
I think
I don't
we
know.
Need, I think we need defense.
I
Right
don't
now.
know
all
if you're.
the- all
I
the
don't
sudden-
know if you're 2
all
or
our
3 years
defense-
away.
all of a sudden we became hockey
Yeah,
happy.
Yeah, like I don't know if you're 2 or 3 years away if you got your goalie. Like I don't believe that you're 2 or 3 years
hear
away
you.
because it doesn't. If you're
Yeah,
good,
but he's 19. Though.
I don't care.
He might take 2 years.
It might take a guy. It might listen.
Marc-Andre Fleury took like 4.
But this
Yeah.
might be his growth year, where next year he can come in like why you start a rookie quarterback
No,
year one so you get over
Brian
the growing
Daly.
pains.
Daly is so
Why can't he
tuned
be?
with what we're
How
talking
far
about.
away are Frost and Harrowby? 2 years? 3 years?
Farabee's looking good in juniors now. He might be 2 years out.
All right.
Morgan Frost will be up next year.
Right? Is there any reason that Carter Hart can have a monster year next year and the Flyers get into the playoffs?
He can have one now.
You see, so I think he speeds it up. Like I think him alone, because we've waited for the goalie for so long. If he is what we think he can be, he could be really good at 20.
No,
you
he
know what I
is.
mean?
You're
Like,
Well, we thought
right.
he is.
yeah. Like but that's hope, you know. But I agree, Chrome. Like I think trading G can speed the process up. But there's also the point, like, do you ever get better by trading your best player? But also, how long are you going to get nothing for him at
here's the
some
thing.
point?
If you trade him, who's not to say that like Couturier and Simmons don't just take it to the next level because
Right.
G's not there anymore?
And listen, we watched it with the Phillies in the run earlier this decade, right? And they waited too long to move on from these franchise guys because they're franchise guys.
No, they did. You're right.
They didn't do enough to plan for going forward. You got a 19-year-old goaltender right now. You have good young defensemen, but you need to have more leadership in that defense. And I think that you can go out and get other assets, scoring assets and everything else, to sustain what we wanted for the Sixers, to not just make a couple of runs middle of the playoff pack. You want to be able to sustain that success for 5, 10
you're
to
absolutely
10
right.
years. That's your best move.
And I'll
And I love Giroux's my favorite flyer ever. I love Claude.
Same.
But-
But I'll jump on that and I'll say if you want to rewind it like old school, I'll take it back to 2005, 2006. You look at the Phillies. They traded Scott Rowland. They traded Bobby Abreu, who were probably their 2 best players.
boo-boo.
And that just that put them on the rocket at that point.
Yeah.
I got him better, yeah.
Well,
So-
You look skeptical.
I never liked Bobby Abreu. All right, you're the kind of guy that would like Bobby Abreu.
no,
But he had
no,
300.
he was lazy. He was lazy.
He was a good fielder because he never dove after a ball.
No, he was.
He was so
he
good.
won a Gold
He was
Glove because
so
he had a
good.
cannon. That's it.
He did have a cannon. I listen. Bobby Abreu was a solid player. I never liked Bobby Abreu. I was for.
You had an
getting rid of
honorable
Bobby.
mention. Who was your honorable mention?
Well, it doesn't really count because it essentially started in 2017. You know, like Hinch.
Did it carry through though?
No, because injuries. You know what I mean? So if you look at like
Well,
Carson, you look at
Ben's emergence.
like you
last
look at
year.
you look at Carson. You look at Carson. You know, the start of the end of 2017 before he got hurt. You can make the same argument that I made with Joe, where this is the guy that everybody saw first in the facility. This is the guy that everybody rallied around and wanted to work a little bit harder because they see how hard he was working, and he came out lighting the world on fire. And if it wasn't for an injury, he could be a guy that's easily in this conversation, regardless if we won a Super Bowl or not. You know what I mean? Because we had a damn good year.
Can I jump to Shark here? I'll go way ahead. My 2018, 2019 prediction: Carson's the MVP next year because he's pissed.
I've been yelling that since he got hurt, but the Folesian society don't listen.
You were calling it this
Right,
year?
but is it going to be?
I might have.
He was last year.
But is it going to be in Philadelphia,
Didn't
or is it
work.
going to be with the
Oh,
Giants
stop
when
it.
we get Saquon
You stop
Barkley?
it. You stop it right now.
Dummies.
You're not
First
trading him.
Bunch of idiots.
It'll be
First
in
off,
Washington.
If you trade a quarterback for a running back, you should be killed.
Right.
Well, you
Twice.
need to trade him for a running back and like 3 number ones.
Twice, not once.
Not
You're gonna
once.
Kill twice.
Saquon got hurt his knee next week and never be the same.
True story.
He just can't.
Yeah, I'm out.
It's just a position. And running backs have a
Oh
5-year
God!
window.
And the people saying, well,
Mostly.
what if you trade him for David Johnson and 2 first-round picks?
Kill-
Who doesn't take that deal?
I'll
So
kill
you want to trade him?
I'll kill whoever said that.
I love David
And I
Johnson.
mean it.
But you want to trade a franchise, a potential generational talent because of injury issues for a fucking running back who has fucked up his knees, who is older.
David Johnson's always hurt. First off,
I don't know about always, but he has a major injury and he's older. So yeah, let's trade a fucking franchise changer for a running back who has injury issues, who's older.
Whoever said that,
they're dumb as fuck.
You should tell them
Stop watching sports.
Just kill yourself already. Seriously, your parents hate you. Kill yourself.
Clearly,
I love the
listen.
tone that this show takes when we all have beers. By the way,
listen. Clearly, your parents didn't mean to have you.
wow,
but you're here.
Wow, Chrome's getting personal. He's getting personal.
You're a load your mom should have swallowed, for sure.
If you're going to trade.
Jesus Christ, the show's on in the afternoon.
If you want to trade
two.
Carson Wentz for David Johnson, I'm with Wilson on this one. Kill yourself twice.
Or you want to trade him, period.
Well, hold on.
If you want to trade him, period, you should have been
but then
bored.
maybe only once. You don't need to do it twice.
You want to give me 3 first-round picks?
Well, no. If you want to trade Carson Wentz to Arizona, I'll take David Johnson. I'll take
wanna
Patrick
give me 3
Peterson, and
first-round
I'll
picks
take
and
2
Baker?
first-rounders.
I would think about that. Think about it.
I got you.
Thought I'll drive to the airport.
David
That's what
Johnson,
you got
Patrick
pull one of the
Peterson,
other
and 2
kids out.
first-rounders?
No, I don't do that one. I do that one, though.
I said 3 first-rounders and Baker. I knew he'd go
Oh
there.
God.
I knew
Wait,
he'd go
Your
there.
son?
In.
His other kid.
A son for a son?
His other kid.
A son for a son?
We're going back to Wednesday night now.
A son for a son.
How many kids does Tom have? 27.
He's got 6 at least.
At least, minimum.
Tom just went 6 to midnight. Sweatpants were a bad idea, buddy.
Oh.
Never a bad idea. But trading Carson for Baker and 3 firsts, that's a great idea. And I don't trade Carson for anybody.
No, I'm with you. That's a huge,
Hell no.
huge
Yeah, they wouldn't make
consideration
that
there.
deal.
No, they wouldn't.
Cleveland wouldn't make that deal.
It's Cleveland. You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
That is true. That is true. I'd rather have Wentz than Baker.
Me too.
Correct.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm not running from
But
that.
Baker and 3 first-rounders. I mean,
That's a no-brainer.
I'd probably pull the trigger.
You can't not do that. James Wilder says, "Yo, family gathering, love it."
What up, Ken? What up,
Andy
Canada?
says, "What a shock! A show with Chrome on didn't start on time." Love y'all.
I'll tell
And
you
he
what.
said,
Oh, tell Andy that he just got a massive pop from the upper deck.
700 level like that one.
There is a lot of truth to that statement.
Well, I'll tell you what. We were supposed to start at 2, and Chrome rolled in at 157 with 3 bags of Wawa.
Didn't share with anybody.
And he had his sister's jacket on. And he was talking about how he had walked dogs or something.
I don't know. Rumor has it that Chrome's sister's kind of hot. I don't know. I mean,
"Oh my God, is this going on now?
If she wears that jacket, maybe.
oh, hey.
Crumb talk.
This The Bachelor?
Wait.
An episode of The Bachelor on here?"
Crumb talk.
Chrome talk.
Eric Tomolana says Foles hands down.
All right.
Andy DeMaria says Foles.
Let's go.
That's another Pennsbury guy, Andy DiMaria. Yeah.
What else we got? A lot of Foles.
Foles. Foles.
I'm not doing it.
We'll be doing that shit tomorrow, though.
Well, it depends if we get in or not. Because that whole conversation could end tomorrow.
Well, hold on.
Not hopefully, but it could end tomorrow.
Honest to God, like if Matt Nagy decides not to sit anybody
gonna
tomorrow,
play.
there's not a goddamn chance that the Vikings beat them.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
they could.
It's
in Minnesota.
Wilson,
because
roll-
it's in
roll with the-
Minnesota.
Roll with the
I
fucking
hear you,
punches
but I'm
here,
saying-
Wilson.
but I'm
Come
saying
on.
It's in Minnesota. It's a fucking division rival.
It's Kirk Cousins. 4-24.
That's what makes me feel good.
All right. So we agree.
I'm hanging my hat on Kirk being Kirk. All right, you like that?
You like that?
We like that.
We like
Kirk.
that.
We like that. All right, be a pile of shit like we know you are, Kirk. All right.
13 for 30 for 149 yards and 2 interceptions.
I'll be fine with that. I think. There we go.
Oh, hey.
back.
They're
I'm
set.
back. No, but yeah, I mean, they could beat them. I think it's going to be close.
I think
the
the Bears
Bears
win.
are definitely going to play to
Be a
win.
low-scoring game, yeah.
Bears are going to play to win.
I think
for
the
sure.
I think the Bears win. I think we win too, but I think we're not going to go down and blow them out. I mean, Washington
absolutely
always
not.
plays as tough. It's going to be a tough game.
It'll be a slugfest. But
Although
if we get some points up, though, we might blow them out because Josh Johnson, they need to keep the game close and like manageable for them to have a chance to beat us. I'd say.
So
Sean
the-
Spielman
Just because
trolling.
Josh Johnson he hurts you with throwing the ball down the field. He
Although
can't
what's
do it.
funny is the one media guy that I've actually seen who has already posted a prediction went 37-13 Birds, and I'm like, ooh,
That's
That's
kinda-
what
that's
I said.
That's kind of
I said
lopsided.
37-13.
That's big. That's a big score right there.
Sean
Absolutely.
Spielman says Vikings 31, Bears 17.
Congratulations, Sean. How them Giants looking, buddy?
Go honk on Brad Wire.
Win another game this week to hurt your chances for a pick again. And the guy, I love the fact that the best quarterback,
Ringed out.
the kid that was going to be the best quarterback in the draft went back to Oregon.
Your best
love it.
Muscala impression.
Love it.
Muscala.
Mike, Gloucester City Mike? Yeah.
All right, before we rotate,
G-City
boys,
Muscala.
Wait, we're rotating already?
it's been 25 minutes already.
Oh.
Yeah.
But each
Why
organization,
change?
each organization's best and worst moments.
Well, Eagles is winning the Super Bowl, obviously.
Easy one, yep.
Worst is probably when Carson hurt his knee. Well, are we talking this year?
That would be this year. Yeah.
Okay, so
Super Bowl clearly is the one.
Super Bowl is obviously best. Worst has to be the performance at home against the Cowboys this year. Coming off the bye, and we just got punched in the face at home. It was awful.
See, I disagree because I think as bad as the Titans' loss was, losing to Carolina,
I was
blowing
going
a
to say
17
Carolina.
Yeah, but that
to
I
me
agree.
that set the tone for the rest of the season up until
It's still everything's in our control if we just beat Dallas at home after the bye.
right.
Can I go outside
That's
the box
terrible.
here?
It's a terrible loss.
Yeah.
But I agree. But that's a terrible. We blew the game against Carolina.
And me and Ryan, who's going to
Straight
be jumping
blowjob.
on, me and Ryan have talked about this on Birds of a Feather too. It's ironic how last year the Carolina game was the game that we knew there was
jump-off
something
point,
special. This year was the year where it's like doesn't feel the same, and that kind of solidified it.
Well, I think the Dallas game we just played, you were going to be talking about winners of 6 in a row. You know what I mean? So you win that game, and that's control your own destiny right there.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about you have the lead over Minnesota right now, a chance to go win another one, week 17, and you control your own destiny. You don't have to worry about anybody else. So to me, that game's the biggest smack in the mouth and the most disappointing. Not the way we lost it because we played tough. It's just the fact that you lost that game.
No, and that
half.
last
And you would
First,
be-
we came out like shit though.
Yep.
that game.
So all that that factors in. That's the worst. I was Super Bowl the best. The Sixers, to me, the worst moment was just losing to the Celtics.
Right.
But the best moment was winning that first rounder against Miami and just getting the taste and really, feeling good about Sixers basketball again.
To me, I'm looking square at Gabe Kapler because to me, the Eagles, obviously, we know what they are. They won a Super Bowl. They have the Super Bowl hangover this year, and we'll deal with that in the coming weeks. But the Sixers, I think they kind of are what we thought they were. But for me, I'm looking at Gabe Kapler, and I take it all the way back to opening day when he pulled Aaron Nola in the 5th inning after 65 pitches.
Yeah, we were there.
And set the tone for just weird shit over the course of the season. And then they have that doubleheader in Philly against the Mets when they're still somewhat in control of their own destiny, and they get shelled in the first game. Mm-hmm. And he's rolling Scott Kingery and Roman Quinn out there to pitch. And to me, that day was the day that the team quit on him. Because it looked like Kingery didn't want to be there. Roman Quinn didn't want to be there. It was ridiculous. And somehow they come back and they win game 2 of that doubleheader. But to me, that was the day where the team just basically said, you know what, Gabe? Screw you, we're done. And it was all downhill from there.
No, there was a lot of quit.
It was a lot of quit there.
And I think we all know the best moment for 2018 for the Phillies is when the Phillies signed Andrew McCutchen for you, right? Mm-hmm. Great deal.
Sure.
3 years.
They haven't had their moment in 2018. It's been disappointing.
I would agree with you.
Realistically, for as good of a season as they had for 3 quarters of the season, they didn't really have a moment.
No, I agree with you. I
Nope.
would agree with
I
you.
mean, what was the moment? Leading the division in April or May? I mean, that's a moment because that's
probably,
amateur.
there's probably a Nola start.
that's
No,
amateur.
and listen, literally their best moment of this year wasn't on the field. It was when they were finally able to move the Santana contract. Let's be honest.
You're
'cause
probably right.
That's probably the best thing that's happened to the Phillies. the
Move
entire
Reese
year.
back to first. It's probably the best.
That's the best thing that happened.
Helps
to them
our
this year.
defense.
Wasn't even on the field.
But that, honestly,
Now, hold on. Now, if Odubel dies in the next 4 days, then that's the best moment.
well, then Tom's going
and
to have
we'd have to revisit this.
Tom's
going
to have to go to a funeral because that's one of his kids. But no, seriously.
Oh, he'd be there.
For as good as the Phillies were for 3 quarters of a season,
They're strange.
to me, that's the biggest disappointment in Philly
Sure.
sports this year, just because they shit the bed so hard so
They
fast.
dropped it big time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's because it's smoke and mirrors. We were smoke and mirrors the first couple months. Gabe is a pile of shit.
Oh, yeah.
And shit always settles.
It's one of the worst collapses, statistically in baseball ever. You know what I mean? It's bad. It's ugly how bad how bad they went. They're just going bad and there's not playing good baseball for 2.5 months.
Yeah.
That's bad. There was no signs of life through that 2.5 months either. There was nothing.
Oh, we were a train wreck.
So you know,
Last month and a half of the season, we were an absolute train wreck.
That's definitely the most disappointing part of the entire 2018 in Philly as a whole.
But we got a
was that
Lombardi.
collapse.
I mean,
we got a Lombardi.
Which makes things feel better.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, for me, if I'm going Flyers, it's Carter Hart making his debut has been the best thing in the entire calendar year.
And the most disappointing would be the firing of Ron Hextall because you got to this point. No,
Right.
because it didn't work, right?
It didn't work. I agree.
Because it's another time where the Philadelphia Flyers
I was not disappointed
cannot
about
get
the firing, but it was disappointing that all that, and it kind of worked. You got talent stockpiled.
No, because it starts before that. It starts before where you want to keep bringing guys that
Right.
are former guys
Right.
in this organization.
I agree.
It starts when you give Paul Holmgren an upgrade of a job
See, it's-
after you're not good enough.
it's
It
fu-
starts there and ends with another former
great.
Flyer not able to get it
Well,
done.
it's funny
I'm over it.
It's funny that you said that because if I was the one pulling the strings on that, I would have fired Homer and Hackstall and let Hextall stay.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But it just shows the whole point where they can't get out of their way of former Flyers
And fire
their-
Bob Clark,
and their
too.
and the goddamn loyalty shown from the ownership group to certain guys. It's just
They would
amazing.
never. They would never.
It's amazing.
I know, Will.
But no,
but they should.
Did Hextall bring
old
talent?
wooden teeth
Yeah.
Bobby would not
Well,
like
talent,
that.
but it's the point that it didn't work.
His teeth
Right.
were
Yeah.
made of
Agreed.
wood.
Now it could be like an Ed Wade thing where his
I
guys
confuse L&D.
end up being a part of something special down the road, and he was just a scapegoat. Yeah.
But I look at a lot of comparisons because I don't think Ed Wade was a phenomenal person at building a core,
Ooh, we were talking about Ed Wade earlier.
Yeah.
He was great.
We hated him.
He was great as a young talent evaluator, and you learn that later. But he was never the guy who was able to get it done on the major league roster. He couldn't make the right moves
the
and
king of
plug
the
the
nothing
right
move.
guys in with them. I feel like Hextall is that guy. Built a great young core of talent to come for years.
Well, hopefully it gets us a cup.
A lot of head
'Cause
scratching
Ed
moves
got
on
us
the
a fucking-
up on the NHL roster.
Well, Ed was the
Lot of
king
head
of the
scratching.
Ed got
nothing
us a World
move his
Series.
entire career. He'd make moves at the deadline, and you'd be like, "Why's that? Why?
We fucking hated
what's
Ed
that
Wade.
move?"
I'm gonna tell you. He won us a World Series. He really did.
Ed Wade
But-
should get a
but
World Series ring.
He won us a World Series with all his with his picks. But
Right.
but we hated Ed Wade when he was here. Hated him.
Well, he wasn't the guy that could get it done.
You guys heard the Brad Lidge story, though, right?
No.
So when Ed Wade was in Houston
Wade blown.
and he traded Brad Lidge to the Phillies before the 2008 season, he was weighing 2 deals at the time. He could have, and there was one player in the Houston organization that was basically like the target. And it was Brad Lidge to the Phillies for whatever it was the Phillies sent back, or it was Brad Lidge to Cleveland for Cliff Lee. So realistically, we wound up getting Brad Lidge, and then the next year we wound up getting Cliff Lee. Whereas if Ed Wade would have moved Cliff Lee or Brad Lidge to Cleveland for Cliff Lee in 2007, 2008, all of that goes downhill for us.
Wow, yeah. That's crazy.
So Ed Wade,
I hate Cliff Lee.
Yeah, me too.
I hate him.
that's
Everyone
a-
loves.
that's a
Everyone
lie.
loves.
Chrome loves
Everyone
him.
loves Cliff Lee.
oh, I love me
I
some
hate
Cliff Lee. I love me some Cliff Lee.
You know
Cliff
what?
Lee?
The way he ended left a real bad taste in my mouth.
Well, it's because he was hurt. You know,
I'm not
He
even talking
did.
that. I'm talking. We give him that 4-run lead.
Oh, well, that,
We got to win that fucking game.
That's a problem.
Oh, that's why
We
I
have
love
to win
Cliff
that
Lee. You're
fucking
right.
game.
I was like, wait,
And
why
then-
do I love him?
and then
You're right, I do love
And then
him.
he held.
I
Then
got
he held.
you, Dad.
Then he
I
held
got
us
you,
for
Daddy.
like.
See that one?
I'm not going to get surgery, but I'm still going to not retire yet for 3 years. Shut the fuck up, Cliff, and retire.
Well, he's trying to get his money.
yeah.
Cliff Lee's reign in Philadelphia
He's a
was
cunt.
great for me as a Cardinals fan. So, 2011, baby.
I will tell you this: Christmas of 2000.
If we beat you guys in Game 5, we
was it
would have won a World
Christmas
Series that
of,
year.
no,
sure.
Christmas of 2010, when the Phillies went out and they re-signed Cliff Lee, and it was Merry Cliffmas.
Oh,
and
we
the
were-
whole,
we were
everybody,
pumped. I was pumped.
Oh yeah.
That's how we operate around here. That's how we operate. All right, we'll do a line change. You
Line
boys,
change.
You boys will be back on
Just yell, change it up.
in a few.
Change it up.
Ryan, do not sit next to me because you're sick. You sit where Chrome sits. Yep. Nope. Sit where Chrome sits.
You stay on.
You are sick. You said you had a fucking headache. That's sick. Rob, get it out of the freaking front of the camera with your fat ass. Have a little class.
Wow, Ralph.
You know, he just
You're gonna take
you
that,
know,
Ralph? Wow.
You know, he just stand there. I'm gonna set it off hot with him. I'm just kidding, Ralphie. Dive in. Jump across the table. Jump across, Ralph. Jump across, Ralph. All right. So our poll question. Keep voting on it, family. Who was the Philadelphia Sports Athlete of the Year
Jesus Christ, this shit's loud.
in 2018?
Christ.
What's the problem?
It's too loud for him. Too loud, man. Huh.
Where are we getting signs?
I don't know.
Ah.
Oh, it's the beer.
I was so
Counts
confused.
up. Counts up.
So who's the Philadelphia Sports Athlete of the Year in 2018? You got Joel Embiid, Nick Foles, Claude Giroux, Aaron Nola, other. Still let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. A2D Radio is where you can find us. Boys, you guys talk. I'm going to let Pete jump in here, and I'm going to sub the hell out. All right, and you guys talk amongst yourselves. You know the topics. You need it, fucking Ralph? You need it?
No, I don't need it. I don't need it. Ryan, you want to go ahead and you go first?
All right, boys, you want me to go first?
Yeah.
So I honestly believe that it is 100%.
Hold on. Frank, can you turn me down just a little bit?
Yeah, Frank, Ralphie's a little bit softer. He can't handle the big boy volume, so we gotta tone it down for him. It's
There
fine.
we go. We're good, Frank.
I
We're good.
believe it's 100% Nick Foles, to be completely honest with you. Obviously the guys before us talked a lot about it,
Yeah.
but it comes down to this, all right? This time last year, he was the biggest storyline in Philadelphia. This time this year, literally right now, he's the biggest storyline in Philadelphia.
Yep.
I can argue that when he was not even playing, he was the biggest story in Philadelphia. Now, the question's not surrounding storyline, it's athlete of the year. Well, we also won the Super Bowl.
Right.
He also, whether we like it or not, he's now the quarterback on this whole resurgence of this season.
Yep.
We're talking about, can we find the magic again with Foles? To me, he started out the season winning for us. He's winning right now when it seemed like all was lost. It's absolutely Foles for me. Pete?
When you say athlete of the year, when I think about Foles and winning the Super Bowl, what he's doing now, calendar year ago, we didn't know what he was going to do. Remember, he laid the dud in Christmas against the Raiders. We were all uncertain going into the playoffs. So when I think of athlete, I think of talent. When we talk about Foles and winning the Super Bowl, it's not so much the talented player of the year, but it's what he did and most memorable. So if I'm looking at the question as a whole and just take it for what it is, when I look at athlete, I have to say Joel. I have to go JoJo because he's just scratching the surface what he's seen. 10-17 on Christmas night. He was hurt last year. He's more durable now. We're seeing that, and he's just scratching the surface. And we talked about it. The guys in the first line talked about don't trade your best player. Okay, so when I look at this team now as a whole, Joel's our best player. We don't trade him, but we have a guy. We look at Simmons. He may be expendable because I don't think right now we can't waste what Joel is.
Absolutely.
He's almost, to me, the most untouchable athlete in Philadelphia sports right now.
Well, you know what's funny? Whenever we talk about the 76ers, it's all about how can we get Joel the ball. Because Simmons already has the ball. Butler, obviously, all the other guys. It's about what can we do for Joel Embiid that they, in turn, can then do for this team.
Right.
We always talk about, in losses, for example, especially the last month, oh, we didn't get Joel the ball enough. Oh, we didn't get him the ball here. We don't really say that with anybody else in Philadelphia, especially on the Sixers and throughout the entire city. And honestly, can we all agree that Joel Embiid right now is the best athlete in Philadelphia? It's because before it was the whole Wentz or Embiid. Now that we know what's going on with Wentz, you'll pass on that one?
Yeah.
Oh, of course you will. Because you should be wearing purple right now. You should be owning the brand, but you didn't. You did.
It's all right.
Because what did you say for the first hour or two
What?
before? It's been last couple of days. It's been kind of rough
Been
for
a
you.
rough couple of days.
If anyone somehow doesn't know, we got a Lakers fan in here, but he's pretending to be an Eagles fan, but you're still an Eagles fan.
Stop.
Right? You're not Rams. You're not Rams. I don't know. Once you go to LA,
Don't
it's
you
hard to
put
get them
that on
back.
me. Don't put that on
Could
me.
be
So you're
Chargers.
still Eagles. I'm just
Could be
confirming.
Chargers fan.
It's about to be a new year. Some people refresh. I'm just asking.
What? I ain't talking. Why are you talking to me?
I'm not getting many answers back. I'm trying to get them. But you're still Eagles. You're still Eagles?
Yeah, Ryan. Why
Oh,
would I
it's
not
a
be
new
Eagles?
it's a new year refresh. I
Jesus
don't know. Like I
Christ.
said, once you go LA, it's hard to go back.
Yes.
That's all.
Yeah.
Who are you going with? What's the athlete of the year for you?
I'm going to go Nick Foles.
Okay.
I mean, what was it, 57 years since our last year? We haven't won a championship in 57 years. And for him to step up with Carson Wentz that had an MVP caliber season, right? And now Nick Foles steps in with the brighter light and go one-on-one with
Hold
Tom
on.
Brady.
Hold on. Apparently, we got a rumor.
What? What's that?
Rumor.
Talks have intensified.
Talks have intensified.
Dougal Herrera and Nick Williams
Cobra
along with multiple prospects to Cleveland.
Kluber.
Wow. Odubel. Odubel.
Let's get a Dougal out here. Let's get a Dougal out here. He can go to Cleveland.
Can we have?
I'll pack his bag for him.
Will we
We'll
have?
pick him up.
Yeah.
please.
Somebody. We have a lot of cars here.
Don't worry about it. For Kluber, see,
Could we have a breaking story on the round
Let's
table?
please.
No,
Let's
not
please.
now.
Yes.
Not now. I'm talking about in the next hour. Yes, I'm saying in the next hour. Could it be a possibility we have a trade in the next hour? Because once you hear talks have intensified,
They're close.
Please.
that's
For
signs.
Nick Williams,
Please.
too, huh?
Yes.
We're doable. Listen, like we talked about before,
Making a push for
the
Bryce.
Phillies roster right now, 98% expendable. We have all the money in the world,
Yeah.
and we have all the flexibility. We're really looking at Nola and Hoskins as guys that we really can't get
so-
rid of.
yeah, no-
But
But
other
then-
than that,
Well, if this trade does happen,
uh-huh.
let's look at it this way. We have all 3 outfield spots open
I
right
was
now.
thinking the same thing.
We have
Hey,
all
Bryce.
3.
Hey, Bryce.
Well, all right, I'll give you 2 because you got McCutcheon, but he can play all 3 positions anyway.
Yes.
But
True. So you're going Foles?
yeah, I'm going Foles 100%.
I'm the minority here.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's
I'm the
on
minority
brand.
here.
It's on brands, though.
It
you
is.
Embrace the brand.
I got to go with Giroux. Like, I'm a hockey
Yes.
guy. What he did last year, I am. But my passion's hockey. So, you look at Giroux, you look at what he did. He scored 100 points for the first time in a Flyer season since Eric Lindros did it in what, 94, 95? So it's been a while. It's been about 20 years since somebody has done that. And he's doing it with mediocre talent around him. Mm-hmm. He's doing it like he's playing with guys like Couturier. He made Couturier better last year. Voracek, he's just a passer. He's a playmaker. He's not going to score you 30 goals. But he came back this year picking up where he left off, minus the game against Tampa Bay the other night where he gave up that horrible, horrible
Yeah,
turnover.
the neutral zone, yep.
But to me, he's the athlete for me. Like he's irreplaceable in the Flyers roster right now.
Okay. Now let's switch it up. Let's go now to the second part. The best highlight, the best moment in Philadelphia sports, and the worst. Let's start off with the best. I'll start with you, Pete.
Best highlight for me this year, obviously, is a Horse and Lamborghini Trophy.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think that's the number one for everybody.
it has to be. So,
I mean, nothing can beat it, you
No.
know?
Now, here's the question, though, because we all are going to agree the best moment was obviously the Super Bowl, but here's a little question within a question. What was better, the game or the parade? Because the parade's all about the celebration. It's about with all the fans,
Yes.
the entire city, or it was about that moment when you realize when the clock struck 0
Yeah.
that we won.
well, it was an odd moment because we were all looking like, hey, it was like a delayed reaction almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anticlimactic.
I would never forget in 2008 when the Phillies won the World Series, I had 4 of my friends on my back, and I was literally walking around my house. I couldn't feel anything. I was on cloud nine. But it didn't bring me to tears. When they won the Super Bowl, I jumped up, I laid on the floor, I cried like a baby, and I bawled for like 10 minutes straight. So I can't – the parade –
Yeah, you were not alone.
And the parade caused me so much pain because I didn't just post up. I walked like 15 miles that day,
Gotcha.
and that was rough. That was rough. That was rough.
What was better for you, Ralphie, the parade or the game itself? Because obviously we were chirping back and forth with Frank in the group text. A lot of mixed emotions in there.
Yeah.
Was it about the journey in that game or was it about the
Well,
celebration?
the crazy thing is that when the Patriots had the ball last week with a minute and change left, I was like, oh, well, I've seen this movie before. You know? But, we got it done. I think the game, just realizing when you finally won the Super Bowl, and you can put that, oh, you guys got no rings to
Yeah.
bed,
Finally.
Yeah. The game.
That's right.
The game was the best moment.
Bri?
The end of the game when Al Michaels was kind of like, oh, well, it's over. You're just kind of like,
Yeah.
is this really happening
Well, everyone's
right now?
checking the field for flags because,
Yeah.
of course, in
Right.
Philadelphia, there would be a flag there.
Right. So, after that all happens and you're kind of just seeing everybody celebrate, you got the confetti going, you got them building the stage, it's a surreal feeling. It's got to be the parade, though, because then that sets into reality like, hey,
Realization. Yep.
we're sitting at a Super Bowl parade. Here comes Nick Foles carrying the Super Bowl trophy like the Lombardi is in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Goosebumps.
got to be the parade. It's
It's
goosebumps,
goosebumps, yeah.
absolutely.
It is goosebumps, but I also think it's. I mean, let's cut the shit. It's who we fucking beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, that
you,
too.
You beat the evil empire.
Yeah.
Like you took down Darth Vader. I mean, and the guy who did it, I mean, just is doing it again. It could possibly do it again. So when
Yeah.
it's tough. I feel torn.
Well, you know what's funny? I remember coming on, the next week with all the shows, and I remember saying, for years, watching football, watching the Patriots absolutely dominate the entire league, I always thought, what would be the team to finally beat them? And it's so great that it was us.
Yeah.
It was us all along. Yeah. I would think, it's going to be the Seahawks. It's the Falcons. Oh, maybe it's the Panthers. It was us.
Yeah.
It was us.
Yeah.
And it was so good going back to the first time we played them, obviously back in 04, 05. Coming here, going back to all the controversies, the conspiracies with Spygate, everything, looking at this, be like, it's validation. It's validation for the entire year. Going back to last season, everyone was saying we would be the best team in the league. We knew that. The players knew that. The league knew it. But everyone around the league would say, oh, no, they haven't beaten anybody.
Yeah.
No. They have too many injuries. Oh, they lost their quarterback. They couldn't do this. No. All that is irrelevant once that clock strikes 0. Now, what about the worst moment? Because I think there's a lot to choose from. For me, I'll go straight up. I think it's the Dallas game. It's not part 2, though. It's part 1.
Okay.
Because going back, that's obviously the game after the bye week. Go back to how we were all feeling during that bye week.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, it's a refresher course.
We heard
we
it.
get Golden Tate.
We're going to get on the roll.
And we're playing a dead Dallas team. People were bringing
In Philly.
freaking great
In Philly.
We were feeling great. We were saying this is the launching point.
Yep.
We can put Dallas to sleep. We can then worry
Cruise
about just the
control to
Redskins and us.
division. Yep.
And we flat out
Didn't
don't show up
Yep.
in our own house.
Yeah.
We were talking, we're going to wear black because it's a funeral.
Right.
No, it was a funeral. It could have been a funeral for us.
Yeah.
Because from then on, we go the next week and we get absolutely destroyed by the Saints. It just consistently, there's opportunities we can look at in this season. Panthers game, Titans, obviously. There's a lot of them. Cowboys part 2. Cowboys part me personified the entire season.
For me, the worst moment is the realization that Wentz is not on the field again. And it really brings into the question, into the mind, like, can this guy stay healthy?
Yeah.
It's just the nicks and the knacks and the paper cuts that he's getting in his body. And then on top of that, we have this guy, Foles, who's coming back and doing it again. So not only so much to win it in the moment, but just looking at 2018 heading into 2019, this kid's psyche, I've said it on our show, Philly Sports Guys, I said it, can this guy realistically, can we mess with his psyche like we did with Foles? Like, that bad.
Yeah.
That bad. Like, I don't know if even though he's a ginger, and I love my gingers, shout out to all the gingers in the world. They're some pretty tough dudes because, hey, you
We got one right there.
fucking carrot top on your head, you know what I mean? So you got
Builds
to be
character.
thick-skinned.
Builds
Yeah,
character.
It does build character, but as a fan base already right now, we've heard brotherhood. We've heard he had a shrine in the locker room for Chris Long had for Nick Foles. It's like it's almost like Wentz, what he did wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? What he did was not on the field. What he does off the field, you know what I mean? It's not good enough.
I mean, despite the fact that he didn't come around with some of those wins, Wentz never really actually didn't play poorly.
Right.
He could have played better, absolutely, but
Well, when
he
you're
didn't play bad enough that he was still putting up decent numbers.
when you come back and you're 2 weeks into the football season that you just came back from, and you're getting sacked 9 times in those 2 games,
yeah,
it's going to start taking a toll on
it
you.
wound up being like what 15 times in 4 games
Right, and
that
that's-
he was getting sacked.
In October, that's when we came on injury report with the back, and Lane Johnson, like I said, he was playing like a turnstile. Everybody was getting through Lane Johnson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
You guys remember what we were talking about the week where we found out, okay, he's coming back for the Colts? What were we talking about? We really weren't talking about Wentz coming back. It was about what Wentz is coming back to. The offensive line was injured and struggling. The running game, Ajayi wasn't there.
Nope.
Obviously, Clement was
we
banged
lost
up.
Mike Wallace.
Josh Adams wasn't even on the freaking roster yet. You know what I mean? We were talking, we have to bring Pumphrey back? Like, that was a conversation we had in this city.
Yeah.
And then we just look and we're like, well, Wentz did fine with what he had. And then we find out, okay, well, he was definitely not 100% healthy.
Yep.
And then, look, he has a broken freaking vertebrae.
Yep.
Oh, that explains some things.
Yeah.
It's beyond me. And listen, you can criticize Wentz all you want because was he great this year? No. Were there a lot of reasons why? Yes.
Right.
I just hate when people forget who literally laid it up for Foles at the end of the season. What Foles did in the postseason is solely on him.
Yep.
That's another season in itself. So that doesn't play over.
Right.
But Wentz got Nick Foles in the position to literally lay us up to get that home field advantage, which we all know is so crucial in every sport, regardless of who the quarterback is.
Yes.
Ralphie, your worst moment, and it's not the Lakers. I'm talking strictly Philly. We'll talk National League. Because I can just go back to last week.
You
I
just
guess
go back to the
having
last
Carson-
game they played.
I'll go with Peter. The Carson going down again, man.
Yeah.
Was the worst moment.
Carson going down.
Yeah.
Because it's realization that, like, we all talked about it. Wentz can do X, Y, and Z
Yeah.
because he's not human. We found out this year he's human.
Yeah.
He's very much human.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And that's not a shot at the guy. It's like
No.
realization. Oh, wait, Wentz can't come back, literally just restart what he did and take us back to 16-0.
He can't play like he did at 17.
Oh, wait, it's real life. He can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I just love the people that sit there and say that Wentz has regressed. No, he hasn't regressed.
He has better numbers than he did last year.
Right. And he just can't stay healthy.
He's playing with a broken back.
And it sucks. And the people are like, oh, he never played a full season. I believe his rookie year was a full season.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so he has played a full season in the NFL.
You know what's so
I guess,
funny,
I
too?
guess Jimmy G never played a full season, too, because, I mean,
Played 9 games, but people want to crown him. He's played 9 freaking games. He has 3 injuries. Like, that's a third of your games you have an injury.
Yep.
3 injuries in 9 games. Hello? But there's no red flags?
No.
San Francisco's going to have a parade just because we have a guy named Jimmy G? I mean, good for you. That's fine. That's fine. It's so funny, too, because no one goes back to Wentz's rookie season. I'm glad you brought that up. To where Wentz was not – I mean, if you want to just look at stats, he sucked. He sucked.
Yeah.
Played all 16.
All 16.
Going into last season, everyone was like, oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
The rookie season doesn't matter. People want to point fingers at this season instead of going back to rookie season. It's like if we want to really criticize Wentz, let's go back to his rookie year.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
What about you, Bri? Worst moment.
Oof.
I know there's lots to choose from.
It's got to be the Phillies. The way
Just the entire season?
just the entire season. Like
Just their
I didn't
entire
expect them.
existence?
I wasn't expecting them to be a playoff team or a contender or anything like that. But that little bit of hope they gave us through May, June, July into August, like playing decent baseball, and then just a collapse
It
like
just
they
collapsed.
did.
Yep.
True.
Because, Gabe, he's idiotic
yeah,
lineups every day.
And that's the other thing. Like, and I'm hoping this goes into 2019 and I'm probably jumping ahead here, is seeing what Gabe Kapler does in 2019. See if he's going to learn from the mistakes that he made. Give these players roles, because baseball players are players of habit. Rhys Hoskins wants to bat in the let's just say he wants to bat in the 3-hole all year. Put him in the 3-hole all year. We bring in a closer. Make him your closer all year. You bring in a setup guy. Make him your setup guy. Don't be, juggling these fucking guys around all the time.
Right. Guys want to know where
It
they stand
hurts.
at. Yeah.
They want to know where they want to be every day.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about storylines, like I said, this time last year it was Nick Foles. Right now it's Nick Foles. Next year, when we do this next year, we're going to be looking back on this moment and say, well, Nick Foles was the main storyline. The main storyline throughout the entire city was Wentz versus Foles, Foles versus Wentz. I'm going to ask you guys one straight-up question. I don't want these guys, when they get on, to answer this as well. So we all are in the same boat where we're riding with Wentz right now.
Yeah.
It's not changed. Nobody's saying, oh, screw Wentz, it's Foles.
Right.
Nobody's gone there yet. What is it going to take? What scenario? If it's a trade, if it's how far the Eagles go in the playoffs, what's the scenario it's going to take for you to then switch, to go to Foles? Okay, we need to move on to Wentz. Is it a Super Bowl? Is it just going down to New Orleans and beating them? Is it a crazy trade offer? What's the scenario where it's going to get you to switch?
If Foles gets us another Super Bowl, that's a hard argument. It's a hard discussion to bring up, because you got a dude that last year came in, won a Super Bowl, right? This year, we're one game out of the playoff spot. We need, hopefully the Bears can do it for us.
The odds are
We
more
need to
against
handle
us
our
now
business
than last
But
year.
if Foles goes on, if we do get it to playoffs and go on and win the Super Bowl again, it's going to be there. It's going to be on every headline every single time until OTAs and training camp comes back up.
Well, let me, by a show of hands in the room, if Nick Foles wins the Super Bowl this year, are you switching to Nick Foles? No. No? Yes? No. Maybe. We got a maybe. We have a maybe.
Best athlete in Philadelphia history if he wins the Super Bowl.
So we got, is that 3 no's and 2 yeses up there?
And a maybe.
And a
And a
maybe.
maybe.
I'm sorry, and a maybe.
And a maybe.
On a maybe. Pete?
If he wins another Super Bowl,
It's hard.
it's maybe to a yes, and I'll tell you why. Because Wentz has Howie, Jeffrey, Joe Douglas, and even Wentz has to realize the odds are too much stacked against me. Every throw, every play, if they get rid of Foles and they keep Wentz after winning it back-to-back, not just 2 Super Bowls, back-to-back Super
Listen,
Bowls.
and here's the thing with the odds against him. If say Foles wins the Super Bowl this year, Wentz comes in and starts, doesn't get to the playoffs, now you're looking at it like,
Yeah.
is this the guy? You know what I mean?
It sucks to be in that position for him.
It sucks,
though.
yeah, because he's young and he's going to be put in a
Oh,
position where
Now let's go
he
back.
has to be perfect every game, because if not,
Right.
then you had the chatters of Well, you
Yeah,
looked
but,
pretty good with Nick, didn't we?
Right.
You know?
I can't sit there and say that I could switch Nick. I would probably trade him off.
Yeah,
You
his
can get a
stock could be
haul
hot.
for him because
Yeah.
he's
Oh,
two-time
yeah,
Super Bowl
absolutely.
champion. You get a haul for him.
Hey, New York.
But I think the Eagles have given up too much of their future to not give Wentz his due shot.
And then,
Yeah, I got
totally
you.
agree with that.
I got you.
Because you sold the mortgage on Wentz, and now it's like
Right, and we've seen the upside of Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Last year we saw it. We know what he's capable of. Now they say it takes 2 years to recover from an ACL tear. Okay, give him 2 years. Let him sit out the rest of the year. Let Foles do what he's going to do. Let him get healthy. Let him go to OTAs next year. Let him participate in mini camps and training camp and getting to where he needs to be, to where he was last year. He didn't get to do that this year. So let him practice. Let him get to that level where he was last year.
Whoever thought that we would be here when they signed Nick Foles to back up Carson?
nobody
last
thought.
offseason?
Nobody
You're
thought
talking
about
like,
that.
yeah.
Nobody
no
thought.
No
on
one.
paper, it was like, okay, Nick Foles, he's a quality backup.
Great backup
We
quarterback.
never thought. I don't even. The Eagles can never see this coming. That it would turn into this.
Yeah.
To where we're sitting here, year-end round table, and like,
And the
put
thing
some
is
thought
that
into it.
people are saying that it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. I think
Yes,
it's a good thing.
For
absolutely,
us,
it's
what
a
we
good
do, it's a
thing.
great thing.
Yeah, it's
We
a
were
great
begging
thing.
for one guy. Now we have two.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to read a couple of these comments.
It's a great problem to have.
It is a great problem
Yes,
to have.
we were begging for one, Bryson's Donovan.
Right.
We have two, and the whole city doesn't know what to do with themselves. Oh my God! No! Like,
And-
Can we
it's
remember the
we
Kevin
have
Cobb
two.
days?
It's no
the
disrespect.
Michael Vick days.
the Sam
you know?
Bradford days. It wasn't
We
that
finally
far.
have
No.
one, and then we get two, and then it's like.
But it's not a disrespect to Nick because
No.
everybody in this room I know loves Nick Foles for
Yes.
what he's done and what he's doing and what could possibly do, barring everything plays out
Yeah.
the way it should be on Sunday.
True.
But it's not a disrespect to Nick.
No.
I love Nick. I love what he's done and what he's doing.
I'm going to read a couple of these comments who chimed in on that. He said, so Francisco Damien says no, about 100 times. So he says no. Kyle says yes, absolutely. Wilder says no. Dennis Holmes says I'm going with Nick. David says no. Let's see. Francisco said Nick would be the only player to be successful for 5 games every year. Rob Taramini says a guy repeats and you don't name him your franchise quarterback with about 1,000 question marks. He says y'all are high. Listen, man, it's agree to disagree.
How can you make a 29-year-old your franchise quarterback? He's pushing 30.
and then,
Right.
yeah, then that's the only.
That's
How
not-
many years has he got left?
And he only wants to play. He's already said that he wants to go off to greener pastures, and this is football does not define who he is. This
Right.
is something that he does. What we see with Carson's like, look, man, this is
And I-
Carson's
you know what?
23, 24
To
years
be
old.
honest, and I think Nick has come to the realization where like this city is the only place where he can play football.
Yeah.
And be
He's a
himself.
system quarterback.
Because
he fits into the
when he
system.
went to St. Louis, now with the Los Angeles Rams,
Yeah.
it just went right downhill.
It tanked.
Right? He went to KC. Granted, he was with Andy. He was a backup
Yeah.
quarterback, played one game and did all right. And now he came to here, and look what he did. He won a Super Bowl. But I think to
Right.
him, he realized, man, Phillies is where I belong.
Yeah.
And if I had to go somewhere else,
It's not going to be the same.
yeah, it's
It's
not
not.
going to be the
The
same.
love's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
The passion for what he does, he's not going to get the same back from the fan base. Because right now, let's just go on the record and say, he's due for a dud game.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's due for a dud game. That dud game could be tomorrow, and they finish 8-8. They don't. He still can do no wrong here.
Right.
He still can do no wrong.
No, he's Super Bowl MVP.
He's going to
He
get
can
his
never
free
do any
dinners.
wrong.
No.
He's going to get his free dinners. You
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
Everything's free for Nick.
It's like what Tommy always says. He could live his daughter out in the middle of the street,
Yeah.
and she's going
She'll
to
be
be taken care of
for
for
the
life.
rest of her life.
Yeah.
The rest of her life.
So before we sub in about a minute, just yes or no, and we'll elaborate with it later, obviously. Will the Eagles get into the playoffs?
Will the Eagles make it to playoffs?
Yes.
Get in the playoffs?
If we're looking at on paper,
Just
Yeah,
just
but
your
I
gut,
think-
Bri. Just your gut.
no,
No. All
No.
right.
Damn it, Brian. God
no.
damn.
Pete.
I'm going yes.
I'm going no. I just have it. I think that karma has set it up to where, yes, we have something to look forward to. They finished. They won 5 of their last 6 games. But a part of me still thinks you have to pay for that Carolina game.
Yeah.
Like, you do not deserve to get in. When
Right.
You're 17-0.
that Tennessee game.
Yeah, the Tennessee game is bad.
Well, there's a number of games you can
but-
point out.
Yeah, the Carolina game's even worse because it was here. Remember
And you had
last
a
year
17
It was a
point
17-0
going
lead into the fourth.
Yeah.
in the fourth quarter, and then the team, Carolina they haven't won a game since.
yeah.
So, like, what does that say? What does that say? What does that
True.
say?
Well, like I said, I'm going to go with no. My gut says no because I think obviously we're going to win tomorrow, but I think the Vikings are just going to show up tomorrow.
Well, that's the thing. Like I'm a little worried about tomorrow.
Well, me
It's
too.
and I'm not even. Fuck the Bears. Fuck the Vikings. Eagles have to take care of their business.
Oh, so you're worried about that game?
I'm worried about the Eagles game.
All
Yeah.
right.
I mean,
Maybe typical if we lost that game.
Before we sub out, I think they'll win tomorrow, but this is the thing. We were doing a chant earlier. We were doing the Foles chant. We beat Minnesota last year here, won the chip
In Minnesota.
In Minnesota. You can't tell me Minnesota wants to do everything fucking possible to screw it to us.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Screw us up. Yeah.
Well, listen, and it's their lives as well. You know what I mean?
You
Like,
know what?
listen,
And
if
I
they
would
don't
do
win
the-
tomorrow, they're
I would
done.
be the same way if I was a Vikings.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
The same way. And 2 words, Cleet Blakeman is the head referee tomorrow. So, he can't see shit anyway.
Yeah.
Conspiracy.
He
Listen,
can't
it's
see
conspiracy.
anyway. So,
All right,
Khalil
boys.
Mack, aim for the knees, baby.
We'll be back in a little bit.
we'll be back.
Line change. Change it up. Where'd Rob go? All right, I'll hang out for a minute.
Oh, I'm staying? No, Bryce.
Oh my goodness, I'm finally on camera. It's a miracle. It's a
we're
Christmas
staying.
miracle.
Hey.
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 Hey, hey.
What?
When Rob comes in, you swap out with Rob.
All right.
There we go.
Who died and made you boss, Chrome? Who died and
You're
made
a
you
crumb,
boss?
too.
Hey, he's the one that came up with the whole thing.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And
All
Crumb
right.
was 3 minutes.
And he was late.
Fucking Crumb.
Oh! Oh! Woo! Oh, jeez. Oh, my God.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So who's your athlete of the year for 2000?
All right, there we go. Athlete of the year 2018 for me. There's that one part of me in
Yeah.
there we go. Oh, there we go.
All right, baby.
All right.
Kicking Westbrook off the
Oh
table.
no. But but to answer the question for 2018, there's the one part of me that wants to say Gritty as the answer. But I'm not gonna go with Gritty. I am not picking Gritty. So my athlete of the year's got to be Joel Embiid.
That's 3.
I mean, I get it. Like you can make an argument for every guy.
Exactly.
True.
I mean, Aaron Nola, Cy Young candidate, Joel Embiid, potential NBA MVP candidate.
Right.
Could be this year.
And a budding superstar in the process.
Budding superstar.
Now, if you tell me out of that list who overachieved the most, it has to be Nola.
Oh yeah.
Even when he was drafted, they said third starter.
Oh yeah.
Third in rotation.
And he's a Cy Young runner-up.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he
great
got like
season.
3% of the vote. I don't know how, but anyway.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, I mean, they were expecting him to be a third, and now
Yeah.
he's pitching like he's an ace.
Right.
So I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Nola. I can't wait to
Oh,
see
yeah.
what he does this year.
Oh yeah, exactly.
But I think he needs somebody to take a little bit of the pressure off, and I think he'll get even better. So if you bring in a guy like Kluber,
yeah.
Oh.
Fingers crossed, legs
Klu-
crossed.
Kluber, Nola, Arietta.
Everything's
That's a
crossed.
great 1, 2, 3
Everything's
punch right
crossed.
there.
right?
Now all you need is a reliable bullpen and a reliable closer. Then we could be saying
Some power in
something
the
here.
outfield.
Right.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
the corners, that'd be helpful.
Yeah.
That'd be helpful.
You got to have that guy that's going to eat up some innings. I mean, that's
yeah.
Yeah.
we didn't have that last year.
Yeah, no, and I think Kluber's going to be a guy that if they make the move and bring him in, he's going to be a guy who's going to help eat innings.
Yeah.
We see that Nola is a guy who's proven that he can eat innings as long as he's not being pulled by Kapler
Right.
early.
Right.
No 65 pitch inning.
No.
65 pinch outings. I
Oh,
mean,
if he's having a
I don't want
65
that.
pitch inning, he better be pulled.
Oh yeah. Oops.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
make an argument for everybody.
Yeah, you can make an argument for everyone, but the one that really stood out, it definitely has to be Joel, especially that he's the embodiment of what Philly sports has been going through the past couple of years. You see the struggles with the Sixers, the constant trading, the constant injuries.
Yeah.
We saw it all the past 3 or 4 years, the frustration, and finally seeing Joel dominating on the court, runner up in the Rookie of the Year voting. having a taste of the playoffs on what this team can do, and Joel actually performing well.
Yeah.
Well, it's good.
It's a great thing that Philly has a guy like Joel.
It's good to see him healthy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's not sitting games out too much.
No.
Okay.
Not much of a minutes restriction.
He's not missing games in a
Yeah.
long stretch.
Right.
He's leading the team by example. He's putting up the points. He's the leader of the team.
Exactly.
If you see I've been to a couple of games. When you see him, when we retake the lead, or he gets fouled and gets an N1, and he does his little dribble and he puts his hands up, the crowd goes nuts.
Oh, yeah.
We love him. The MVP
yeah.
chance.
Oh, yeah.
He's got moxie. I'll say that.
And now at this point in the year, last year we were uncertain about his health, and now this year they're like, hey, dude, he's leading the league in minutes played. Like we
yeah.
had to scale him back to protect him from himself. So the complete 365-day turnaround is just crazy.
Yeah, you don't want to burn him out. And
Right.
When it comes, time for that playoff push, and he's just sitting there like, I can't go. He could lead to another injury, and you just let him take it easy.
Yeah.
Let him play, but you give him like a day off here and there.
Yeah.
He's dominating the paint.
Yeah.
When he
Right.
is at the free throw line, high percentage of shots made.
Yeah.
We win games when he's at the line.
Yeah.
Was he 1 or 2 in the league? 3?
Yeah. I think he's one and
He's
foul
up,
shots
he's
per
up
game.
there. Yeah.
I mean, that's when we win games. When you notice that he's not at the line,
Yeah.
is when we're in trouble.
Yeah.
When he's at the line, we're there. We're in
Yeah.
the game.
Yep.
We're either winning or we're right there.
Right there.
And I think that's where he's even said that's where he wants to be, is playing in the paint.
Exactly.
Because that's his game. He's a
it's-
big guy. He should be playing in the paint.
And it's less energy. He doesn't have to spend as much. He's closer to the basket, higher percentage shots.
Yep.
And that's the recipe for success for the Sixers.
If he can work on, the takeaway part, because when he dribbles, it gets a little wild and they get some steals out.
Yeah, he can't put it
If
on the
he can
floor.
work on that
Yeah.
where he's not even really dribbling, just taking 2 steps, he's going to get fouled or he's going to
Yeah.
make the shot every time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And for Brett to somehow, some way, I know they say they work on it, but my man looks like us passing out of a double team.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what happens. I just every time, and especially in key possessions in the game, it just looks like for him he wants to do it so much. He wants to try so hard. He wants to win so bad, and that's why we're a blue collar town.
Yep.
That's why we get behind somebody like Joel Embiid. You call out the bullies, you call people out, and you back it up.
That's why Butler's so special. He's
Oh,
a
yeah.
Philly guy.
Oh yeah.
You can just tell. I really hope we extend him and
We
give
should.
him a contract.
We should.
Because he's a Philly guy. He hustles. That's defense that we haven't seen in forever.
Right.
He made Simmons play better defense just for their little side bets that they got going on.
Yeah.
That's so important of his hustle, his willing to win, him yelling out who to cover, where to go. I mean, that's the embodiment of Philadelphia sports.
So now you guys just jumped in the kind of line change 2.5, 2.5,
2.5.
kind of.
Right.
So your best and worst of the year for 2018.
All right. The best of the year. I mean, you got to go with Super Bowl 52. You got to go with the chip, the long-awaited chip, and I hate boasting this out loud, especially on the fix that. Oh, and there's the yeah. So for those who don't know, I work.
That would be me.
I work for the team. So being a part of that amazing season was truly something very special. Especially the parade, how the city got together. Oh man, I just want to relive it again. It feels
it
great.
takes you back there.
I mean,
Oh,
it's funny because you look at some of these other like big like L.A., New York. You see all these people like all this damage and rioting and all. You didn't really see that. I mean,
You didn't.
You had your bad apples who were pulling down street signs and
Right.
flipping cars, eating
Yeah.
horse shit.
Greasing up the
Right.
poles.
Right.
Yeah.
But you didn't like it was a city that came together. Like
Right.
everyone had, it was a big party. Everyone had fun. Everyone was
Exactly.
celebrating together. It really was something magical.
It was magical, let alone surreal that this could especially over the course of the season, like this was going to be the year. This was going to be it after the failures of the Dream Team, after the great Chip Kelly error. Having a super,
You got to take a deep sigh with that.
you have to, but having a team rally around, the next man up, the we all we got, we all we need, the underdog, that whole mentality.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that before, and it goes down as the greatest moment of 2018.
Yeah.
I agree. There's nothing that's going to go over the Super Bowl.
Right.
Right.
Now, if all the other teams won their respective championships in the same year, maybe we'll say something different. But the Eagles has to be the most out of all the big four. It was like we finally got that monkey off of our shoulders, and it was great.
I mean, I was hurt when the Sixers lost in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? That wasn't the biggest low. I was happy that we're there. It's funny that we're on the Eagles. And you can have such a high with the Eagles from last year.
Whoa.
Then you got this year. My low, even though the season's not over yet.
Right.
Okay, my low was that Carolina game.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a very frustrating game to watch.
We're ahead in the fourth quarter, and then we wind up losing. That game right there could have been a division right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Let alone securing a spot in the wild card.
Guaranteed in the playoffs at that point.
Right.
And that's a game that we shouldn't have lost.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. And it almost happened to us again.
It did.
You know what I mean? But, from a high to a low, all on the same team within 1 year.
Right.
But the good thing is we're back. We got Big Dick Nick bringing us home tomorrow.
He said it.
Okay?
He said it.
Calling it here. Nicky 9 inches. Okay.
Beat again. Well endowed Ertz. I mean, you could say a lot of very talented nicknames for this team.
We got things flying across the
Things are
studio.
flying.
What's going on here?
It's like a WCW show in the '90s. Oh my goodness!
Man.
Trash flying everywhere.
We already got.
Oh! All right.
Wild in here.
Yikes!
Look at how Red Chrome just got.
I want to give a shout out to
Holy
James
He
Bond.
saw this
hell!
light flash
Watching
before his
from
eyes.
Canada.
This is getting crazy.
It's just a little out of control.
It's getting wild.
Yeah.
It's getting wild. So
All right.
something that hasn't come up yet in the 2.5 line changes. Who was your standout breakout athlete of this year? I have mine, but I'll let you guys go first.
Ooh, breakout
Ooh.
athlete
Any
of
sport.
the year.
That is a tough question.
Ooh. Are we going?
Ken, it ain't
just
paper
Philly?
airplanes, brother.
Just Philly.
Just Philly?
Yeah, just Philly.
Breakout athlete of the year? You gotta go to the guy that people are saying not a rookie, Ben Simmons.
Okay.
I mean, he's racking up triple doubles, game in and game out.
Small triple doubles.
Small triple doubles, but a triple double's
Yeah.
such an important stat right there.
Yeah.
Does his triple doubles compared to other players that've had triple doubles?
Right.
His is under the radar.
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah.
The quietest triple doubles ever.
And he's a machine.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's but there's controversy.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
whether we're going to trade him or
Or-
keep him. And
or-
the guy gets all these triple doubles,
Yeah.
but he doesn't have a shot.
He doesn't have a
so
shot.
what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Right. Let him rack up the triple doubles and just move on, or let him develop his jumper. That's the other
him
thing.
developing his jumper, that's on him.
Oh yeah.
That's on no one else but him himself.
Exactly.
So, and not so much development, but to take the shot.
Right.
To take the shot. Brian, yours?
I got to go with Aaron Nola. Just to where he went from 2 years ago to where he is now and how dominant he was. He wasn't even close to being considered a Cy Young candidate 2 years ago.
Right.
And now last year, he's in the talks.
Yeah.
Like him and Jacob deGrom are neck and neck for pretty much most of the year. And what?
What is
what are
going
you
on?
doing?
What are you doing,
He's on
Chrome?
what is he doing?
That's the slowest crawl I've ever seen in my
Jeez.
entire life.
Oh my God!
Jeez.
We got everything here.
Yeah.
This has been crazy. We got beer cans flying everywhere. We got Chrome crawling all over the floor. It's
Jesus.
it's-
Oh man. But yeah. Anyway, back to Nola.
my goodness.
You know, you know, coming every fifth day when he started, you knew what you were going to get
Yeah.
out of him, and just he was just phenomenal all year.
Yeah.
So and the consistency that he had all year
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
second to none.
For me, it has to be Zach Ertz.
Oh yeah.
Last season, we were talking about this guy. He's great. He gets open, but as soon as he fucking blow on him, he goes down. No, not blowing him really, but
No fun. No fun.
you know what I mean.
Not that.
But like if you touch him, two-hand touch, he goes down. I mean, we just saw a breakaway touchdown last Sunday against the Texans in that defense. So to see where he's come from and elevated his game and his development to just from catching and going down to catching and be able to break a tackle and having the most receptions in the season by a tight end and still going, making the Pro Bowl, and what he means to this team, not only on for as a whole, but what he means to this offense, what he means to Wentz, and what he means to Foles. I mean, we've heard it all the time. Wentz targets him too much, but Like, look, how many catches did he have last Sunday with Foles? If the fucker's open, you're throwing the
You
guy
throw it
down
to
the
him.
butt. You're throwing the ball. So you see but where he's come from, and I can't believe credit to Chip for drafting him in the first place.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, for me, that's my breakout athlete of 2018.
Yeah, and the other thing about Nola is, 2 years ago he had a little bit of command issues.
Right.
Couldn't really throw where he wanted to. His velocity was down a little bit. Came out this year, and he was just firing. He was hitting the glove everywhere that either Alfaro or
Ramos
or whoever was behind the plate. He was hitting his spots.
Yeah.
And he was striking guys out, and he just looked good doing it. He just looked healthy.
Yeah.
He had a full year under his belt now.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I
that
mean?
helps too.
The nerves were calmed down more. He's used to being in the big leagues.
Yeah.
And he produced.
He was mowing down guys. I was on my feet on my couch when he struck out Harper a couple of times.
Oh, yeah.
It was great, and I can't wait to see what it does this year.
Yeah. I mean, it's something to be said. We saw it with Ben, and you're seeing it with Nola now. When you come in, you're a kid. You have so much structure when you get drafted. You have, whether you come out of high school, college, you're being told where to go, being told where to be at here, and then you have things in between to fill your time. When you become a professional athlete, you say, okay, you show up at the ball, and that's it. After that, fuck, you're gone. It's a job. Your time is your time. And so to learn how to become an athlete and to man yourself on the road, to figure out what you need to do to perform your best, that's what we're looking for. I mean, right now, we can be talking about this next year. Who was a breakout athlete in 2019? You could say Carter Hart.
Yeah.
It could potentially be Carter Hart. You know what I mean? It could be.
It's exciting.
Yeah,
It
it's a good problem to have right now. Mm-hmm. It's really good to be a Philadelphia sports fan, in my opinion. You know, we may not all 4 for 4 may not make the playoffs, but there's future and it's bright for everyone.
Yep.
You know, moving forward.
Yep.
You know, for my breakout player, I could say Ben, I could say JoJo, I could say Nola, okay? But what brought some spark to this city this year was bringing in Butler. Jimmy Butler. Okay?
All right.
I can count on him to play defense. I can count on him to get anywhere from 10 to 23 points a game, steals, okay? He's bringing some liveliness to the city, and we were so excited because we didn't have a good offseason picking up any star players that Brett Brown said we're star hunting.
Right.
We didn't have any stars. We didn't bring any stars in. They
Yeah.
put all their chips in LeBron, and that wasn't happening. He was going to LA.
Right.
We bring in Butler pretty much in the beginning of the season, okay, and that brought an extra spark to our team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Because we didn't know what Fultz was going to do.
No.
Okay. I would love to sit here and say Fultz.
Yeah.
I would love it.
We need
okay?
it. We need it bad.
But you know, he's got a thyroid injury. We don't know what that is yet. Still
Sounds like a fucking dinosaur.
we don't know what that is.
Right.
But he brought a spark to the team. He's bringing much needed fan base and that he's in there for the 1-2. It's JoJo's team.
Yeah.
Okay. Ben's been here. He's a rookie of the year. He's there too. But he's bringing that outside source as the third guy that's on the same level as those guys, just different leadership roles on the team.
Yep.
And I think that's
agree.
something special, especially going into the postseason because nobody wants to man up on him, especially when it comes down to crunch time.
Yes, yes. So I just had a thought. You mentioned the star hunting. We heard from the Phillies, stupid money in the offseason.
Yep.
I mean, could that be the worst moment of 2018 if we don't land any of them?
I mean, that's a page out of the Sixers book.
Exactly.
Right there.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you tie along Twittergate along with that as well. If you lump that into star hunting, yeah, that was definitely a low point in 2018 for me. Especially that I remember like all the talking about, we're gonna get LeBron, we're gonna get Paul George, we're gonna get Kawhi. None of that happened. They all went to teams that we did not want any part with, especially with the Lakers, especially when we lost out on Machado.
Yeah.
That kind of rubbed more salt in the wound. Then you see Kawhi going to Toronto, which are probably in good position to be an NBA finalist to win it all.
Right.
And then you got Paul George, who surprisingly stayed in OKC, but I'm not too worried about that.
That money, man.
It's that money.
That mean green talk.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing on that. Like, how much of that is media based? How much is it just people just talking just to talk? Like, they have no sources on anything. Like,
right.
Some people are saying, "Oh, Manny Machado's going to sign tomorrow. Manny Machado's going to announce in 2 weeks where he's going. Nobody knows where Bryce Harper's going. No. We have Manny down to 3 teams.
Yeah.
We know that. But there could be a surprise team coming out of there.
Yeah.
So
it's so important.
Depending,
we live and breathe this.
Yeah. We do.
So
we're
on every single rumor, every single tweet, every Instagram photo.
Hell, we had a rumor break here. We had a rumor.
Yeah.
Look, rumor alert.
Rumor alert. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So, hey, look, we're in this day and age of media and how we have it at our fingertips every second of every day.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. So, I mean, I get it. It could be media-based as well. But, I mean, when we go back to the Kawhi, and revisionist history now, do we do that trade? Do we trade Simmons for Kawhi?
No.
You know,
I would have done
No.
You know, but you see what I'm saying? So, but that's the things that we ask ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes.
I'm with you.
Kawhi is a beast.
I'm with
he
you.
is a
And
beast.
He puts up points, and right now, to win a championship, he would be that fit.
Yeah.
He would be.
I just see that. People are going to disagree with me,
him being
hate on me,
and him being plugged into Toronto's system, it actually shows what he can do to any team. If you put him in a good team, you're good to go.
It's only good if we were able to sign Kawhi to a long-term deal.
Right.
Just for the 1-year deal and him being a rental, no.
Yeah,
I think
that was the thing.
That's
you had
kinda
to
my
sign, you had to sign
expectation on
him
it.
long term.
Yeah.
That's
that
my
was the thing if
expectation
you wanted
on
to
it.
get Kawhi.
You're giving up a lot for potentially a guy who's going to give
did
you
you?
1 year and walk.
Yeah. Right.
A guy who's already stated that he wants to play in LA. He wants to play on the Lakers with LeBron.
Right.
So is it really worth it?
Just imagine, though, you do the trade for Kawhi, Simmons for Kawhi straight up. Then you pull off the Butler trade. You have all 3. I mean, even Kawhi can't be that fucking blind to see.
Right. Yeah.
I love LA too.
But does the Butler trade happen if the Kawhi trade happens?
Well, because you could have did Simmons, Bayless, and whatever, and still pulled off the Butler trade too.
Okay.
You know, because you gave up Rocco and Dario.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, it could have worked. It could have worked.
Could have
It
worked.
could have worked, but like I said, does it still happen because you have Kawhi here? Does it still happen? That's the only thing I'm worried about.
No notes.
That was just on the computer. That's all. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Rookie
We're
hazing.
reading off the prompter.
We're looking over the shoulder going,
No. Oh, here he comes back again.
Oh, and he's not crawling.
No.
Hey!
Walk through like a man.
Walk through like you own a place.
Oh man. So what is your moments as define the season as just not particularly one team, but just define the season in all. Just that one moment for a Philadelphia sports fan, because that's who we're doing this for. We're talking to the fans. We're talking to the family.
Right.
That one moment for you that defined everything that would have summed up to be a Philadelphia sports fan.
It's got to be the parade.
I agree with that. The parade.
You saw, like I was just saying earlier, it has to be the parade. You saw the camaraderie. Everyone came together and celebrated. There wasn't. I mean, you had, like I said, you had a few bad apples. You had the people who were
eating horse crap and
greasing
I
poles.
liked seeing that. Am I wrong?
But,
I like seeing people
no, it's funny
fall
to
from the
watch. No,
balconies.
it's absolutely
I like
funny to
seeing
watch.
People flip cars.
Carnage.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Absolute
I
carnage.
like
But
that.
carnage,
That's
yeah.
why we are Philly.
Yeah. That's what makes us who we
Nobody
are.
likes us.
We don't care.
Right, and I get all that, and it's fun to watch in the videos afterwards. But just seeing how just seeing everybody come together. To me, that's it.
Yeah, and everyone to be in one unison and one accord. You're gonna have your crazies, and we did it in a responsible way. But just seeing Jason Kelsey, aka the Sultan,
the mom
give us
scotch him right over there.
Right, and give us a whole new theme song. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many recognizable things from now forever. We'll know what a dog mask is. The German Shepherd mask in this area will stand for one
What do you
thing.
think about the ski mask?
I love it. But see, I love it, the fact of the mentality. The only thing that the negative to me is, why did it take for you to get to that point to feel like you were robbing? Why is it robbing season now? Why are you robbing games? Aren't you not earning these games? You know what I mean? So I get it. You have to, at 53 in that locker room, you have to find something.
Yep.
Last year was we all we got, we all we need. and somewhat the underdog mask. But now it's the ski mask. I mean, you got Rodney McLeod, who's been on IR since, October?
Yeah.
Walking
Since
out
that
with
Colts
a ski mask.
game, yeah.
So you can see the type of brotherhood.
I
and
love seeing
Yeah.
Cox after that big sack that he
Yeah.
had. And have the ski mask on the
Yeah.
sidelines in the middle of the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
The ski
That brings
mask
the
could be
team
our
together.
turnover chain.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
There we go.
We were missing that. We
Yeah.
were missing
That
that
edge.
camaraderie
Yeah.
during the games where they're, have everybody's
Where-
taking the picture in the end
Right.
zone with the pick.
Yeah.
That's played out.
And then
That's
you had
played
the
out.
electric slide last year.
Right.
That played out.
But them just smiling, having fun,
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
together, fist pumping, whatever it is. We were missing that.
Yeah.
During the season. You're playing better.
And you got that with the underdog mask last year. You're getting it
Yeah.
with the ski mask this
Yeah.
year.
Right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's just like you talked about the electric slide. Those are things that we'll look back at 15, 20 years from now, tell our kids, to grandkids, whatever, and you'd be like, look at this. This is what this meant. And now we know what it's like as a fan base to recognize when a team has it and when a team doesn't.
Yep.
And earlier this season, this Eagles team did not have it.
They did not.
It did not have it. Now, we spoke about the doubleheader with the Phillies and during the Mets. They didn't have it. We saw it before that. It didn't have it. Flyers, not so much. I mean, they got to get away from bringing in the good old boy network. You know what I mean? Just
They
you got
depend on gritty.
Yeah,
It's gritty season.
I like that.
But the energy in that arena, I was just in the arena 2 weeks ago,
Right.
Carter Hart's second game. The energy in that arena is back.
That's that
It
spark.
wasn't there earlier.
Exactly.
Right. It's
Right.
that spark.
So Carter Hart, Scott Gordon, Chuck Fletcher, that's a spark. That's going to
Yeah.
reignite this fan base. It's going to
Yes.
reignite the team.
Yeah.
And it's still early enough that the Flyers are not out of it yet.
No.
Right.
They're only
And hockey, anything can happen, man.
Exactly. I mean,
Just get in.
I
a
mean,
10-game
it's-
win streak. You're
get in, yeah.
back in the playoff spot.
Just
Right.
get in. Just get in.
I mean, if Vegas could do it in their first season, why not the Flyers make an improbable run to the Stanley Cup Finals?
Right,
I would love
exactly.
that.
Knock on wood and hope that happens, but
So,
see what we could do with the Flyers this season.
Why
But-
not? Why not?
just rise.
Rise.
Together we rise. But
Yep.
so when we speak about just looking at 2018 in the year and as a whole, what not so much worse, but that moment as a fan where you thought, oh, we have this, and the biggest letdown that you got your hopes up for.
I gotta say, losing to Dallas
Yeah.
Yeah.
twice,
Yeah.
that hurts a lot. That could have been our season right there. To then, the most hated team of all time in this city,
Yeah.
and we lost to them twice.
We didn't show up
and
twice.
possibly not make the playoffs still because of that.
Yeah.
Right.
The best would be to make the playoffs, have a chance to go to their house and beat them.
Yep.
Their two wins mean shit after
Yeah.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's got to be the way that the Flyers ended their season last year. Getting into the playoffs the way they did at the last moment, being that bubble team I expect them to be, but still getting in, and losing in that first round the way they did to Pittsburgh.
Right.
They were playing so well into that first round. They took a little bit of time off, and then next thing you know, they just shit the bed.
Yeah.
They
And
did.
for me, that was probably the point where I was just kind of like, oh, well, I thought they were going to at least make it fun,
Right.
and they did it.
Yeah.
Right.
No offense in that entire series.
You, Frank?
I got to go with the Phillies second half of the season. Coming up in that second half with a
Right.
almost 10 game lead over Atlanta. Out of nowhere, we didn't expect the Phillies to be on top of the East for a while. And then we realized what this team really was.
Yeah.
You saw the late game collapses, the inconsistent bullpens, the inconsistent lineups from Kapler. Hopefully he changes that going into 2019. But watching that all unfold, watching that collapse, I wouldn't say it was a monumental collapse to where people were comparing it to the fold of 64.
Right.
But that was just really painful to watch, and it made me kind of very uncomfortable to be a Phillies fan watching all that unfold.
Yeah. For me, it's the Sixers in the second round of playoffs because it was wide open. The East was wide open last year.
Yep.
The Cavs weren't playing well. Toronto, we beat Boston. We're probably in the finals.
Oh, yeah.
Do we win the finals? No, but to have the fact that you're there, the way we lost to the Celtics, JJ throwing it away in overtime in Game 3. Game 3 goes our way. It's a completely different series.
We expect more this year.
Yeah, we do expect, but the Sixers look great against everybody not named the Raptors or the Celtics because any deep teams, I mean, this is not. It's sad. It's sad.
And I think with the Sixers team, if we are one more player away from overcoming the hurdles of Toronto and Boston.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Hopefully, Elton Brand can make a big move after the All-Star game leading up to the trade deadline.
Right.
Hopefully, get us somebody reliable on the bench. Maybe possibly another star on the front court.
I think we need a perimeter shooter.
Yeah,
They
something like that.
They need a guard in the 4.
Right, guard in the 4.
They need a guard in the 4. They need a.
Something
They need
valuable.
PJ's not enough.
No, they need a
He's not
starting
the
4 so Wilson Chandler can go to
And
your
if I
second
see
unit.
Muscala take another 3,
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw.
That's all he
Bruce
got.
cannot shoot
White
threes.
boy got to shoot.
But they
Yeah.
keep shooting. I've seen him miss 6 straight shots at
Yeah.
3. I'm like, you're done. Don't give him the ball.
Yeah.
anymore.
Right.
It's not his game. It's not
Right.
his day.
Right.
Give it
Exactly.
to somebody else. Let's get. You know what I mean? Another day.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Right.
Today,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's time. We're doing a line change, boys.
Who? 5 minutes. All right. Hooray! And nobody crawled. It's a miracle.
Disrespect.
I'm taking your camera time. I'm going to do a slow walk.
All right. So with the last 5 minutes that
Yep.
we have, most memorable sports story in 2019 outside of Philadelphia, outside of our bubble, national sports story.
Oh, I got one right here. UMBC upsets Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Possibly something.
yeah.
Probably something that I thought was never going to happen in my lifetime. To see a number 16 seed upset the number 1 team in the nation.
Yeah.
That is unheard of. Well, I mean, at least back in 1983, if you were also a Virginia Cavaliers fan,
Right.
getting upset by Division II Chaminade. But
Didn't that only happen like 4 times in tournament history?
What, 16
A 16 beating a 1?
No, it never happened.
That was the first
that
time
was the
ever.
first time.
That was the first time in history.
In the men's tourney, this is the first time it's ever happened.
Yeah.
And especially how UMBC got there. Like,
Yeah.
they weren't not supposed to be in.
Yeah.
Like, they finished 4th in the America East. They made it all the way to the finals. Last second shot to beat the number 1 seed, Vermont, sneak in as a 16 seed, and then go all out against a team that many people thought was heavily favored to win the NCAA tournament. Maybe this was going to be the team that Tony Bennett was going to coach to a national title, something that the Cavaliers desperately need.
Yeah.
But watching that happen was just absolutely unreal. I thought it was in Bizarro World seeing a 16 seed upset a number 1 seed.
But for you guys,
For me, Cleveland Browns.
okay.
Okay, to see them win their first game was like a special moment.
Yeah.
Okay, because watching them last year was horrible.
Yeah.
It was painful. But to actually see them win a game, you felt bad for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're almost cheering for them
Yeah.
to win a game. I hate everybody.
The
except
lovable
for Eagles.
losers.
Yeah.
But to see them win a game and it's amazing.
It's a relatable
And I
fan
think
base.
They had a good season for what they are.
Yeah, it's a relatable
For,
fan base.
Tom
yeah.
Boyd, Mayfield. I don't think he's going to be Rookie of the Year. I think Saquon's going to get
He
it.
should be.
Yeah.
He should.
be.
I will be the first one to say-
It's
he
1
should-
and 2. It's
he
1
should-
and
He
2.
should be Rookie of the
I
Year.
think it's Saquon, but,
Yeah.
either way, you can't go wrong with either one.
For you,
guys.
Brian?
Outside of Philly, for me, it's the Vegas Golden Knights.
Okay.
Coming in as
yeah.
an expansion team,
Right.
Having a very questionable roster going into opening night and just starting the way they did.
Yeah.
Vegas strong and having something to get behind and
Right.
getting as far as they did
Yeah.
to the Stanley Cup Finals in your first year.
Yeah.
It's unheard of.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I know a lot of people were writing off the Knights, especially, the team ain't going to work in the desert again. We
Well,
saw,
right,
we saw
it's
the
not even-
failures with the Coyotes,
Right.
but and especially the Vegas odds that but you also look at the Knights were like 5,000-1 to win the Stanley Cup, and many people thought they were going to bottom out in the league in their first season.
Well, that's the thing. Like they come in and they have, that the shooting in Vegas just before the season starts. So they have something to get behind with the city.
Yeah.
And just the way they started, you think they're probably going to fizzle out. They never
they
fizzled
did
out.
not.
No. They just
They
kept
never
riding.
they took the ice and they ran with it.
Yeah.
They did.
For me, this is going to be completely left. Where's my boy Ryan at? I think he's the only other person here. For me, the biggest story outside of Philadelphia in sports in 2019 is the resurgence of Eldrick Tiger, dick him down in the woods. That is my. Nobody moves the needle like him.
The Tiger
when
Renaissance.
he won the tour championship, that scene, and those sea people
Tucker Woods, y'all.
walking out, and he just coming out It was no one's seen that. If it wasn't for Tiger getting the endorsement deals that he did, there wouldn't be a LeBron contract. You know what I mean? There wouldn't be a KD contract. There wouldn't be a Joel Embiid contract with UA. Sports apparel would not recognize athletes as marketing if it wasn't for Tiger Woods.
Yeah,
so to see him back here, I mean, it's Mr. Steal Your Girl.
He lost to Phil.
When he no, true. They both played like shit. But to see when Brooks Koepka, his girlfriend, was giddy-eyed, who's a model, seen Tiger Woods. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like
absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's like you can't see that. And then to figure whoever would think that we would pay $20, albeit we got refunded, for a pay-per-view match between two golfers with $10 million on the line.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that for me, that's it.
And every week he got better.
Every weekend
he got better.
Yeah. To mean so much to one sport and the sports in general, where Sports Center is the lead-in with Tiger Woods over everything else, come on, man.
Yeah.
He means so much to the sports world.
Yeah.
The most influential athlete ever, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And that's the time here. All right.
Okay.
We're not wanted anymore.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Oh my
It's getting
God.
rowdy up here.
Yeah. 700 levels getting rowdy.
Up there.
Thank goodness nobody's
So
coming in with the Santa outfit.
Whoever gets my seat, it's hot. I just want to let you know. Whoever gets my seat, it's hot.
too.
Thank you, everybody, and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Yeah, play some music. 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 We got things flying everywhere. My goodness. It's crazy. There we go.
Twats. Yes. As the mic came on, too. Perfect.
Twat talk. Hashtag it. No notes. Son of a.
Well, if you need notes with that, you shouldn't be twat talking.
That's that Crumb Ralphie D production over there
Funniest
producing.
thing you said in a week.
Perfect timing on that camera.
Appreciate the
on
week.
that microphone turn on.
Yeah,
I feel like it's been longer.
I didn't go that hard for you. You know?
I feel like it's been a little
There you
longer.
go. Tom, Mike, Abe, and the PM. Tom Wilson, agree to disagree. Tom Chrome,
late.
whatever.
Redhead stepchild.
Late.
Redhead stepchild.
One of my kids.
Ginger talk.
My seventh son.
Tom Chrome walking in mid-show,
Brought to
wasted, yelling at you.
Brought to you by
Phillies.
our certified public accountant. Make them yours.
yours.
GibsonMayer.com. Find him on the web. GibsonMayer.com.
.com. That's exactly how that goes. So
LLC.
LLC. There's always an LLC.
make sure you're searching right.
And you know what's funny, though? Jim Gibson is like the best guy ever, too. John Mayer, Giants fan. Prick. But he sponsors us.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to complain.
Song guitar player.
What's that? Oh, yeah.
song
guitar player. But Jim Gibson is always like, hey, how's shit going over there? Are you good? Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, as long as the Eagles are winning, we're good.
We're good.
Hey, listen, let's not forget. I know we said he's not here, but
Yeah, rest in peace.
Baby Chucks is still here.
Chucks is here. But listen, that's
Let's
an
give Baby
executive.
Chucks a little camera
Sometimes you
time.
make executive decisions, right? And it's for the health of everybody involved.
For the fam.
When you tell me you
For
got
the fam.
when you got a call
For the fam, by the fam.
Somebody was blackballed from the studio
Whoa.
today.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Put into quarantine.
All I heard was Chucks has bird flu. That's all I heard.
Oh.
That's
So
all I know.
there's a couple of us doing double duty because Chucks was blackballed.
So he said aches and pains, and the wifey has it. You're out. You're out.
Bye-bye.
That's around. That's too much around. I'm not Lysol while mid talk.
Crybaby talk.
Aches and
Crybaby
pains.
Yes.
talk.
What, the aches and pains equal little sweats?
He told you he had aches and pains?
I don't know exactly. I don't know the exact injury.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone say they're having aches
Je-
and pains.
You don't know the
Jebediah-
exact injury. What is this? The Sixers fucking physicians over
Or
here?
the Eagles.
Jebediah's over here like, I'm producing this shit right now? Come on.
Well, we had to walk him through that, too.
Oh. Hi-oh.
Ooh, got him.
Boom. You like that? Boom.
You like that?
Fam, if you're just joining us, who is your Philadelphia Sports Athlete of the Year in 2018?
If you're just joining us, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, you missed a lot. You can go back and
Rewind
rewatch the
it.
entire thing. Joel Embiid, Nick Foles, you got G, Nola, or somebody else. You can still let us know everywhere.
Forget about it.
Claude Giroux.
Claude Giroux's.
Wait, now you're swapping?
He said G.
No,
G?
no. I thought you were just reading the options down.
Giroux's.
I was pulling up on my phone. Shut up.
I did.
Wow.
Where you at? Is the headphones working?
Wow.
Yes.
All right, just make sure they're not late.
Hey,
right.
guys, it's Chrome time.
Ah. Ew.
So we looked back.
Screw you guys.
We looked back. Yes, we did.
We looked back. We really didn't get. I mean, the rest of the fam got forward. We didn't get forward yet
No, we didn't.
on everything going on. So let's do a little. I know you wanted to do your awards, so we can do awards and then we can go forward.
Yeah. So first thing, I want to know, and I actually feel like this is a very difficult one because last year it was easily Howie Roseman, but who is your executive or who is your general manager or front office guy of the year? Because there have been ups and downs along the line in 2018.
It's an
last
easy
year it was
one.
clearly it was Howie. That's obviously not this year.
It's
So-
still easy.
And who are you going with?
Well, it's got to be Elton Brand and the Sixers. I mean, you go out and get Jimmy Butler. That's the splash of 2018 when you're talking about executives.
Well,
And-
I'll see your Elton Brandon. I'll raise you. Is it Dave Scott for realizing that even though Homer was kind of sitting pat, like it's time to move Hextall, and then eventually it's time to move the Hextall.
There's a great argument for both.
I just think when you land a star caliber player, I think it trumps anything else. you can
Because
do.
we're star
You
hunting.
sure it's not
We're getting
Quintac and McCutcheon?
No,
I think next year.
No, I mean,
I don't think
Quintac can get in
No,
next week.
hold on. Wilson makes a great question. I don't think Quenville wants to come in mid-season.
No,
But
no,
I think
yeah.
over the summer, I think Quenville's all about it.
In my mind, 100%,
It's a great question.
I think Quenville's going to end up being the head coach.
If we get Quenville, then I see. I'll be like, okay, I'll allow your argument.
In 2000,
He's allowing my argument.
Allowing it in.
but that
Well,
was-
who's yours?
It's probably
Yeah.
Brand.
If Scott Gordon gets his team to the playoffs, does he keep his job?
Yes.
Go after Quenville.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
For where they're at right now, absolutely, he keeps his job.
He keeps his job as Phantom's.
I'll be honest,
manager.
I don't.
Isn't that where it came right?
I don't.
Come on. Get on
We'll
it.
go right back.
I'll be honest.
Oh, there it is. The Rick yeah,
Nice.
take one. Take one. Take one. Don't you walk by that.
Don't you walk by that. So who are you going with?
I'm gonna go Elton.
You're going to go out
I'm
too?
with you because the Jimmy move had to be made,
Yeah,
and I was against it.
I
You know
do think of everybody of the entire landscape of Philadelphia this year. It has to be Elton because you're right. That was the impact move, and and you could even go above that because I think the addition of Elton Brand as their general manager,
Attaboy, Jebediah.
huge. I've always been an Elton guy. I know people gave him a lot of flack for his player contract that he got here, but dude is a freaking leader.
Dude,
his
he-
last season here,
He is Duke educated with a degree.
Listen,
with a degree. So
everything.
Yeah,
that,
nobody has them anymore.
yeah.
everything that
Exactly.
whatever.
Basketball player wise.
What tells me everything I need to know about Elton
It's
Brand
true.
was his
Guys don't
last
stay long enough.
His last season here, when they brought him in to help out guys like Okafor and whatnot, I believe that year had the worst regular season record.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the season, he posted a note in the locker room that said congratulated them on a great season, and it was a whole thing because a lot of them, and I'd read about JoJo and all them, kind of fired them up because that's what he wanted to do. It's like, listen, congratulations on a great season. Not so much.
Not so much. Yeah.
You got a lot to learn, fellas.
All right.
That told me everything I needed to know. And Jimmy Butler move, huge.
Well, yeah.
Impactful. I'm going to be interested to see how we move forward.
If they win a championship with Butler, then it's That's it, hands down.
But I'm going to be interested in how they move forward because it did deplete a lot of our depth, though. So they have a lot of work still to do.
First off,
this year,
I think they have another move that they have to make.
yeah, for sure.
It's not over.
I think you're spot on with that.
It's not over.
No. I'm waiting to see who the buyouts are going to be
We need a
because that's
shooter.
going to be very, very impactful.
We need another shooter. We need a scorer off the
J.R. Smith?
bench. No.
I don't
If
know.
he's cheap.
No.
I mean, Wills, don't get me wrong. I don't love him,
At that-
but if he's cheap.
At that,
There's other guys I'd rather have than J.R. Smith. I mean, there's guys.
Because J.R. is ankle deep in the Hennessy.
Smurfs over here. I'm thinking it's something important. Ralphie's like, take the headset off. Hand me the Smurfs.
Son of a bitch.
Kid needs a little sugar over there behind the glass. So let him go. Let him go.
We bring beers for everybody, and he's looking for the fucking Smurfs.
Sugargate.
Gummy Smurfs are always a huge, huge addition to any
Hey.
party.
All right, Crumb. So what's the next one? So we did executive, and right now, I think consensus, it's pretty much Elton Brand and Sixers because nothing else really has happened worthy besides.
Well, but here's the thing.
Flyers.
So fast forward to 2019, okay?
But now, hold on.
For argument's sake.
What if we sign Harper and Machado?
Well, that's where I'm going with this.
Well,
is
yeah, we're not there, but yeah.
let's just say like January 2nd, Harper or Machado signs here. Does that blow the whole shit out of the water for 2019?
Well, I mean, yes, it does because then there's nothing unless the Eagles and Howie Roseman do wonders in their off season and their draft.
I'm actually going the other way with it because they've been talking about this year for 2 years, getting ready for this. How we're spending money. We're got this money to spend. We're going to spend this money.
You got Comcast money.
If we don't get one of them two, then I got to.
It's an epic fail.
It's a failure.
It's an epic fail.
No, but that's why you
It's
can't.
it's like the worst ever. Like I'm firing.
But that's
guys.
why you can't cross that bridge yet, because let's say it's January
It's not
2nd
there-
or
it's not there
3rd,
yet.
right?
It's not there yet.
That's fine. You can go get those guys. But if they don't win a championship, but Elton Brand, let's say Elton Brand next year puts the pieces in place to build a championship team, gets those role-playing guys, the guys off the bench that can score, and they end up winning a title or going to the finals next year, and the Phillies just make a playoff berth. I don't care that they signed those guys. It's all about now. It's the back.
Well, I'm
it's
glad
the
you
back
said
end
that
work
because that was
Elton
going to
has
be my
do.
next question. Was like, so what is the measuring stick for Elton Brand and the Sixers? Is it Eastern Conference Finals?
Right
is
now?
it Finals, or do they have to win
To
a
me, it's
championship?
Right
finals.
now?
It's finals.
Finals.
Right
Okay.
now,
Yeah.
Eastern Conference Finals.
Right now it's Eastern Conference Finals.
For this-
because that means we'd have to be either Toronto or Boston.
Or
we get
Boston,
there. Yep,
right.
yep.
Now, for this year, I will agree. I think it's conference finals. But
The following year is
Go
finals.
Now, see,
forward, it's finals.
now
Yes,
for me,
absolutely.
no, and maybe I'm just being too aggressive here, but I'm like, no, like I've seen enough.
We're still very young.
Right, but I've seen enough of
It's time to
Toronto.
Golden State.
I've seen enough of Toronto and Boston where Elton Brand should know how to fuck to go out and get somebody to beat them. I want finals.
But the
they
problem
don't have to
is-
win a championship,
but
but,
the-
they need to be in the finals.
But that's the problem because you don't have anything to give.
We have no patience.
You know what I mean?
I understand.
But
I have no patience.
they got draft picks and they got
yeah.
guys stashed.
No, I get that. I get
I
that.
have no patience. And as a fan base, we have no patience. Okay?
And that's fair.
Golden State didn't just all of a sudden wake up and they were the best team.
Oh,
All
kind
right?
of they did, but yeah, but
Not really. though.
Well, not really, but they did,
For
but-
4 or 5 years, they had Curry and they had Thompson, and they just didn't. It took them some time to.
they
click.
treaded water.
It takes a little time. There were injuries a little bit. It takes a little time. Like it's not going to happen overnight.
No.
But I do think that they're going to be the closest to the next championship.
But for me,
Well, yeah,
I
we're going
think
to
it's
get to
gonna
that
be
in a
good.
minute.
For me,
We're going to get to that
for
one
me,
in a
when
minute.
I'm judging success, I don't believe in let's make it to the same point we did last year, right? So they made it last
No,
year.
we wanna-
Absolutely.
yeah, we wanna-
Last
yeah, we
year-
wanna
need to
go-
step up.
we wanna
Last year
step
was
ahead.
round 2, so this year is a success if they get to the conference finals.
Absolutely.
And then after that, you have to
It's
go to the
gravy.
next level. You
Okay.
have to
Gravy.
get to the finals. So I look at it that way, especially with a young pup team.
Yeah, I got to take steps forward.
You
Like
gotta take
for the
the
Phillies,
steps,
I need
right.
to now win that division.
Right.
Right. I failed. I had it in my grasp
Right.
for X amount of months, and I didn't win it. So you talk about the Phillies. Yeah, I need to now get over that hump
we need to
and
make the
win it.
playoffs.
And win
For
it.
the Phillies, you gotta make
yeah,
the
and win a
playoffs.
division.
Right. I
For
don't
the
care- I
Sixers,
don't care if it's wild
Eastern
card,
Conference
whatever,
Finals.
you gotta make it.
For the Eagles, well, no matter what you did, you're not going to get better than what you did last year,
Right.
unless you get in the dance this year and go win one. That would essentially be better than last year, because you weren't.
Which, by the way, could happen.
It
could.
It could. could.
It's a long shot, but it could happen.
I don't see it. What other awards you got,
If it
Chrome?
happens, it's going to be mayhem.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Wills.
Absolute
You are
fucking-
100%
Dude,
right.
Not only is it going to be mayhem just for the back-to-back and the way it happened.
We will be
crazy.
dancing on Broad Street
And then-
before the fucking floats even
But
come
then-
down.
But then a week later on talk radio and on here, it's going to be mayhem because you know all the talk's going to be about one thing.
Oh, Ship went out.
one thing.
Fultz is our guy. Foles is our guy. Fultz might be our guy, too.
Hopefully Fultz can
Freudian
be our
slip.
guy.
Who's your dog of the year? And I mean dog is in.
Markel
Markel
motherfucking Fultz.
Yeah.
Markel Fultz.
I am shocked. I expected Kapler to instantly fly out.
I hate Gabe Kapler.
Well, at least he was there.
But I knew that was happening.
Like at least he's in the dugout. At least he's in the goddamn
Can I,
dugout
well,
trying
hold
to
on.
work.
Can I go outside the box here on this one?
Sure.
I'm going to go Scott Kingery.
Kingery is another great
Because
name. There's a lot. There's
because
been a lot of dogs
because
in this city this year.
he hit the shit out of the ball in spring training like 2 years in a row, and then they decided like, okay, we're signing this guy to a major league contract, and he's got this huge fucking deal, and they took away all the option years, whatever, and from day one he shit the bed, and I still love him, but he was a dog.
You know what? I disagree.
Okay, you're allowed.
Listen,
Because if they would have put him at second base and he played like he played, I would
Fair,
say yes.
fair.
He played shortstop, which he never used to play. I don't know. I just don't like that whole dynamic. I wish he would have played second.
Well, no, you're right, because what they should
I
have
thought he
done,
played a pretty
what
good
they
short.
should have done from day one was said, okay, Kingery, you're our second baseman. Caesar, you're the guy that plays everywhere because he's done it before.
Well, that's what you have to do if you're going to bring him up and
Yeah.
you're going to let him play.
I wouldn't be surprised,
I
honestly.
think Kingery, I mean, I'm willing to. He had a bad year. I'm
Right.
willing to give him another 2.
As am I.
to-
And he gets at least 2 years. But I wouldn't be surprised if this year Kingery gets sent down out of spring training. They'll pay him the major league contract
I don't think so.
to just go down and get his shit together.
I think he's going to start second.
I hope he does because that's my guy. But, I mean, Tommy knows it. I love me some Kingery.
I like Caesar and all. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Caesar. He might not be on our team.
Listen, though, I'm also looking
Could be an
at
Indian.
There's other.
Could be.
Could be.
There's other guys. There's arguments.
Bye-bye.
You could talk about Dave Hackstall and everything I saw from Hackstall.
I love how this shit just bounces everywhere. I love it. I love it.
Last year in the playoffs, and
Every team.
Oh, yeah.
I might
great.
have messaged you. I'm not sure if it was you, but
About hockey?
watching that playoff, but I was furious. And listen, I'm not the biggest hockey guy.
Because I'm
Like
sorry if I
I've
didn't
been
respond.
before.
No, not because of you, because it's hockey. I'm sorry if I didn't get back to you.
Hey.
But my thing is,
Now I am.
Hackstall, listen, they overachieved a lot last year, and it seemed like they were ahead of the curve from where they were supposed to be at. But when they got, in my opinion, steamrolled in the playoffs,
Yeah.
and every time they cut to him on the bench, he looked like he didn't want to be there.
Fucking Wile E. Coyote.
You got
motherfucker. I
young
hate
guys.
that motherfucker.
You got young guys, and you fucking lead this team. You need to step up, and you have to have a little fire on that bench. Fire those motherfuckers up, because if you're defeated, your team is defeated. And I feel like it just carried over into this season, and it was an absolute train wreck. So I think there's a huge argument to be made for him as well.
And you know what's going to happen with him? He's going to be at college, and he's going to win like 3 consecutive championships.
But there's guys that are like that. How
Have
many
fun,
times?
have fun.
How
Yeah,
many times
exactly.
have we seen it in the NFL? Nick Saban, what a crumb he was in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly.
He was
Listen.
an absolute
Rick
crumb.
Pitino.
But he's
You can give
arguably
me-
the best college football coach of all time.
Rick
You
Pitino.
give me a million. You give me a million other names on this dog list, and nothing trumps Markel Fultz, because the fact that nothing trumps it is this was the missing piece, right? You talk about no bench. You talk about no fucking bench. When there's 20 points, that should be coming off the
There's
bench
F-bombs.
daily.
There's
Daily.
F-bombs.
Nightly, he should be walking 20. So you want to talk about who's hurt their franchise the most? It's been Markel Fultz. When you draft the guy number 1 and he can't get on the goddamn basketball court, and you're projected to be a guy who could drop 20 a night, and now we have no bench scoring, well, there's the reason. There's the reason. It's not even close. There's nobody in the city even close. There's a lot of dogs.
We
There's
said-
dogs out there. There's dogs, but nothing is close.
We said if he stunk, it sets us back a year, and,
Yep.
and he stinks.
And guess what? His
But he-
agents, his
but-
agents
but he's still-
tied right in.
But he's still your
And
son.
I'm done with him. I'm done with him. I don't
He's
know.
still your son.
Who, my son?
Yeah.
No, he's not. He's
No,
foster guy.
he's
He's a foster guy.
Tom's
Maybe
a strange.
maybe we
know what?
adopt.
For the
Him
sake,
and Odubel, they're estranged now from Tom.
for the sake,
Foster guys.
He's distanced himself.
Because-
he's a deadbeat dad to them.
because we've covered it.
Fair.
Tom Brady style.
Fair.
Because we've covered
Without the kiss.
every other team.
Yeah.
Without the kiss goodbye.
There might have been a hookup. We're not sure. We weren't in the room, but
All right, so let's just recap real quick.
there might have been.
Obviously,
tongue.
Markel Fultz is the Sixers' dog.
Dog or dog,
I
period.
think we would all agree Hacksaw would be the dog of 2018 for the
Sure,
Flyers.
sure.
And Gabe Kapler.
Kapler.
For the Phillies. You
Kapler.
don't even need to have a conversation.
Mr. fucking pitching change himself.
Everybody's afraid because they came off of a Super Bowl really still to crown.
Oh, I got
Fletcher Clocks.
For me,
Fletcher Clocks.
no.
He's a fucking dog.
I got two.
Hold up.
I
Hold
got
up.
two.
Hold
I
up.
got two.
He's been on the goddamn milk carton
I got two.
12 out of 15 weeks. Fletcher Cox is the dog.
I got two.
He's doubled all day.
One is Lane Johnson. What a fucking disappointing season he's had.
I don't know.
Huge.
He's been playing really well recently.
The last couple games, but
Yeah.
you talk overall when they were struggling this year and they needed somebody to protect
Yeah, a lot of
Carson.
holding.
That motherfucker.
You're all wrong.
but
You're
to
all
me-
wrong.
for
You
the
want me to let me tell you?
For me,
Go ahead.
For the Eagles,
You're-
it's Mike Groh. By the way,
No,
that's
you're-
my
okay,
dog.
you're pointing to
That
my.
is my
Now you're
dog.
playing my game,
Well,
bro. because
Jim-
he's not the dog.
Jim
he's not the
fucking
dog.
Schwartz.
McDaniels is the fucking dog because he backed out on a goddamn job, which fucked our offensive coordinator position up. So that's the dog because it would have been DeFlippo or it would have been Frank Reich. But we lose both because McDaniels and the Patriots do what they do. Do what they do. There's the dog.
It's all right. We fucked them right
Because there's
here
no Eagle
on
dog.
February 4th.
There's no Eagle dog. We won a Super Bowl in 18, so there's really no dog.
We went in with fucking no fucking lube on February 4th, so don't worry. It's fine. It's fine. Sorry, McDaniel.
No lube.
Oh, yeah. Dog talk.
Dog talk.
Did we have any other ones?
Woo.
Well, we did our athlete of the year, obviously.
Yeah, we kind of covered a couple things earlier that we would have covered. So, not really. So, give me your headline this year.
Crumb of the year.
2019. Let's look forward.
All right.
2019. Come on, give me
You want to do a
one.
crumb?
Give me one headline.
Dog, crumb, sort of same thing.
Yeah, it's pretty same.
Well, are we doing like dog, crumb, or headline though?
Is this a roast on me? These motherfuckers are yelling shit. Headline of the year. Chrome shows up on.
Yeah,
top.
yeah.
Oh,
Bite him.
Chrome, give it to him. Gosh.
And here I thought we were like on the same team. We're Thursday night guys. We have our own little crew. You can suck up.
You think you know a guy?
I got my headline.
Suck up.
You ready?
I meant to say suck
You
up.
ready for this?
I got
Yeah.
between
Here,
suck
here.
up and fuck off.
and suck up. You can suck up.
I got caught in the middle of it.
Here's my headline.
Suck it up. I don't know.
Here's my headline. You boys ready?
Suck up.
Because I want Wilson on this too. Here we go.
Yeah.
Ready? Nola Harper lead Phils to NL East title.
Okay.
Love it.
Boom.
I'm a fan.
All right.
I like it. I think
Because
it's
I need Wilson's approval on
Oh,
this.
I'm a fan.
All right, here we go.
I mean, I told you. I want my outfield is McCutchen, Quinn, Harper. Let's make it happen.
Well,
Let's
that
go.
what? Well, McCutcheon in left, Quinn in
Quinn
center,
center,
Harper.
Harper. Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah, we're on the same page.
I have no
Let's
issue.
go.
I have no issue with that. Can Quinn play over 30 games? That's the other question.
Yeah.
Hopefully. If not, then you put Harper in center.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
or split that shit between him and Altair.
2019
Because
headline.
Altair's a backup, whatever. It's
2019
fine.
headline. Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler lead the Sixers to the finals.
Oh.
And nobody said
Ballsy.
Brett Coachwell the whole time. And nobody says a word about Brett Coachwell.
Ballsy.
Typical mush. There
They-
it is.
Yeah, fucking
They-
mush.
they
Fuck
get-
you. I
we'll be
told
out-
you.
we'll be out
Ralph,
first round
Ralph,
now.
don't start clapping. That's how you get smacked up in
Do
this
they,
bitch.
do they
We'll
get
be out
boat?
first round. We'll
Do
be
they
out
get
first
boat
round.
raced in the finals though?
That's another story. Yeah. I know.
I don't know. I don't know about all that. The Golden State looks like they're taking on some water. over
Well,
there.
you said it may not even be Golden State. It might be the Lakers or Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City.
Oh.
I like Oklahoma City this year.
All
and
right.
and I'm the number one. I hate Russell.
You hate Russell Westbrook. I know.
I don't think he's that good. I think he's overrated. But he's
Where does Houston fall in
he's
all
letting
this?
Paul George take over more, and I love Paul George. You know, I've been a Paul George guy for years.
Hell yeah.
Paul George, awesome. And they got some other guys that have emerged.
You love average players.
I'll tell you what though.
Steven Adams.
I would have
Paul
taken.
George, you think Paul
No,
George is average?
I would have
I
taken.
just- I just-
I would have taken
How
Paul
do you-
I want to
George.
take a shot. Relax.
I would have
Slow
taken.
down.
I would have
Slow
taken
down.
Paul
You
George
slow down.
in Philadelphia in half a heartbeat and not bat an eye.
No, absolutely not.
But I'm saying Steven Adams has emerged as a good player for them. Jeremy Grant has emerged. They got the backup to Russ now, so when he's off the court, they got Schroeder, who's a solid player.
Yeah. Well, who's
I
what's your
With his
headline?
fucking
like
blonde
Oklahoma
ass
City.
streak.
What's your headline?
Oh, well, we're talking about Philly headline.
Well, that's
Yeah.
no. You can go national. The national headline: OKC gets to the finals.
No, I'm not calling. I'm just
We're
saying.
going in?
I think OKC could get to the finals. I think I'm not sold on Golden State.
All right. Well, what's your headline?
All right.
I think Golden State's going to dismantle.
Should we come back to you?
Nick Foles.
Oh.
Back to back.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's go.
I mean, listen, I hope it happens.
Woo!
Let's go.
This shit again.
Here we go.
Mine is
He throws for 585 yards in the Super Bowl.
Mine is Phil's win off season. Sign Arenado. I don't think they're getting Harper or Machado this
that's
year.
next year. That's
you're 2019.
Talking. You're talking late 2019. You're talking like winter meeting shit.
I got till December 31st
Yes, you do.
next year.
Cardinal talk.
Seriously.
Yep.
Phil's win.
I'll tell you what though.
Move to St. Louis.
In all honesty,
My national
listen.
one is
Hold on though.
Cards with behind Goldie win the World Series.
I will
win the World Series.
I will give Chrome props here because
third and a second.
legitimately it would not surprise me one bit if the Phillies just said, okay, Harper Machado, pass. We're throwing the bank at Arenado in 2019 and Trout in 2020.
I absolutely.
It would piss me off to no end, but it wouldn't surprise me.
It'll piss you off until it happens, and then that's going to change the game for you guys.
It doesn't change the game for me. It doesn't change the game for me because you told me this year. You
Exactly.
told me this year. So it doesn't change the game. So you fail, actually.
Cry me a river.
No, I just did. Okay? And that's a fail.
Fucking river.
It's a fail. If they don't sign one of them guys, it's an ultimate. It's as
Aaron-
bad as the
Arenado's
collapse.
an LA boy, ain't he?
If I'm the Phillies,
He's going to LA.
Is he?
I'm out on both of them. I'm going Arenado next year. I'm backing the Brinks truck up for this.
No, I'm not
motherfucker.
sitting there for another year with my thumb up my ass. I'm going for something this
All right,
year.
who's
I
your
love
breakout?
Arenado. I don't see that happening.
Who's your 2019 breakout star?
Yeah, that's a good one. Ooh.
Nolan Patrick.
Yeah,
Good one.
that is a real good one.
Nolan Patrick. Hey, Daly, I'm going hockey.
Dallas Goddard.
Oh, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I know his name. Daly.
I'm going Nolan Patrick. That's it. I'm out.
I'm going Dallas Goddard.
That's a good one.
Roman Quinn.
Oh, my man.
Roman Quinn.
Everybody
Is
drink.
that a drinking game?
Yes. Every time he's hurt, you take a sip. You'll be hammered.
It's hard to call the guy a dog and then have him as your breakout star, so I'm not going to buy into that. But that would be typical Philly, right? The typical Philly, Fultz is the dog, but then he's your 2019 breakout star of the year.
That would be typical you.
Typical
That's all
Philly.
it is.
Go fuck yourself. That'd be typical Philly, okay? What I think it is I'll stick with another son of mine.
You're going Shake Milton.
Nah.
Shake, rattle, and roll, Melton.
No, some dude in the group said put his average per minute. I said, bro, the guy plays garbage 2-minute periods, and your average is 36 out.
Wait,
You're averaging 36 out.
25,
Are you kidding me?
25 and 5 for Shake Milton.
Don't average his minute.
Wait.
I swear to you.
Wait, the best is the two. I remember him getting 2 buckets this year where the other team didn't even play defense. It was the end of the game. He just went in. Shake Melton.
Hoop says
Carter
Carter Hart.
36 minutes a night.
Ken Moskowitz says Carter Hart. So I'll go a different direction.
I think Carter Hart's a big candidate for this.
I'll stay Phillies, and I'll go Jorge Alfaro.
Ooh, you know what?
He already
Not just have this conversation up
You
there.
can have a
Here's the
conversation
thing,
you
though.
want to have with me. He led the league in throwing out guys,
You
throwing out runners.
legitimately
He's
may
first-
be you may be spot on with that, and I'm not even blowing smoke up your ass.
Yeah, you
like,
are.
if
Yeah, you are.
No, he's not.
If
No,
Alfaro,
he's not.
no, if
Let the
Alfaro,
baseball guys talk.
If
All
Alfaro
right?
hits,
Let the baseball guys
if
talk.
Alfaro hits this year,
I know you don't want to hear from.
if
a guy who knows
if
winning baseball.
Alfaro
I know.
hits, that's the guy. If he hits, that's the guy.
Don't wave me off.
Oh,
Here's the only
well,
thing.
you waved him off.
I know.
There's a lot of waving off going on here.
He deserves it.
Because,
So did you.
Because I do know
He
winning
does.
baseball, I'll give you this. I do see a lot in
He had to
Alfaro.
he had to drop it in. He
And
had to drop it in.
Alfaro
Those cheeks look awfully
of
rosy.
what the early years
Have another beer.
of Molina. Great defensive
Okay.
guy, has a stick. Molina hit 215, 230 for his first couple years. If Alfaro can figure it out, he could be a top 3 to 5 catcher.
All right, so my counter to that
I
is
just don't know if I have the confidence in him.
He's a guy who can hit
to
30.
be able to do
and you're
He's not
not
gonna hit 30,
you're
and that
not
matters.
necessarily wrong. My counter to that is with Alfaro, the arm is there, the power is there. He needs to learn how to hit for average consistently, and he needs to improve defensively behind the plate.
I'm right with you. He needs to learn how to block the ball.
Yeah,
better behind the plate.
And
absolutely.
he'll get better at that because he got better from the year before.
He's young.
When there's
agree
two,
with that.
when there's
That's
two
something
strikes,
I'm
you need to
not
get the
worried
ball in
about.
play.
Yeah.
He strikes out way too much.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
That's our team. Our team in general strikes out way too much.
But I'll tell you what, it would not surprise me one iota if he hits 30 home runs this year and throws out a shit ton of guys stealing, and the rest of his game goes to the fucking shitter.
If he hits 30 home runs this year, Tom will blow you.
I'll tell you.
We're confirming blowjobs. That's what we're doing now.
What?
I'm handing them out for you.
I'll tell you.
Appreciate you working the streets for me.
Apparently somebody's writing your checks over here
Yep.
for you.
Can I wave that off?
Sure, give another here. You might need 2 though, Mike.
Oh.
Very, very kind of
Well,
small.
you know, I am hung like a fucking whatever.
What, Nick?
Oh.
Field cricket.
Very, very. Oh, God.
Dude, I'm 5'3". What do you want? Winner! Boom!
Another guy, though, that I really like this year.
Crumb's just like, keep it rolling.
I'm trying to get off this blowjob talk over here.
I've been.
A guy I really like that, listen, I don't think he's going to be a breakout like a superstar, but I think he's going to be a very pivotal guy for them going forward. Next year that I think will break out slightly, I really like Shaman a lot. I really like Landry.
Dude, he has no fear whatsoever.
You talk about a guy that is constantly, when he comes in, he makes every minute he's in counts. He's aggressive. He's not afraid to take a shot if he
Takes
needs
a shot.
to.
I like that.
I really like him a lot, and I think he's going to be the best guy out of the draft class they just had for the Sixers.
He's big
of
enough.
the guys they drafted.
He's big enough that he could become at least a solid defender.
Listen,
his problem right now is he's like JJ. They can't defend
right,
anybody.
but I agree.
But
I think that he could be a guy who could be your sixth man going forward, coming off the bench.
Could be, yes.
And
Good shooter for sure.
And he could be a
and
scoring.
he's got no fucking arc on the ball.
He could be
crazy. It's like a fucking rifle.
But he could be part of that. You know, you talk about guys you need to come off the bench and be a scoring threat. That could be the guy.
But I'll tell you what, though, in all honesty, anybody in Philly who's a Temple fan, watch 2 years, 2 years, 2 years in a row in that that AAC conference. Him just fucking dismantle Temple in the tournament because he has no fear whatsoever. He is cold-blooded, and it's only going to get better. I think that's a great call.
Shamwell.
Yeah, Shamwell. Exactly.
You know, a guy, a 4-year starter. You know, they translate a little better if he can play. You know, for a guy at a smaller school.
It helps because the other guy we drafted, Ho-Hum, hurt.
Hey now.
Is that a foot injury?
Where's Shake?
Shocker.
Yeah, foot injury
Give me
turned
Shake
into a
Milton.
peanut allergy.
I'm hardcore, and I'm really behind guys who make every moment count, who never feel like they're entitled to anything. And I look at that kid out there every night. Every minute counts for him.
I just love the fact, Wills from downtown, kaboom.
Better shots
Layup.
than
I just love the fact
More range than Simmons.
Every time he catches the ball, he's ready to shoot.
Yep.
Whether he does or not, fine, but he's ready.
And he doesn't really take like dumb
Markel.
shots. It's good. He has a good shot selection too. You know, we talk about guys like Rocco, who motherfucker will shoot
Real quick,
right on him.
while we're on the Sixers,
Don't get me started on Rocco.
Can or will Markel Fultz
Can you
ever matter
Can you beer me?
or be relevant to the Sixers?
I can.
On the court.
He will matter, but not in Philadelphia. I believe it.
All right.
At this point, I can't even see how he will. I hope to God he will, because obviously he's still here. They're claiming he's going to play shortly, right? So
that's what the agents are
who
putting
the
out
fuck
again.
knows,
That's what
right?
they're putting out again.
I almost want to be like, just get rid of him and get done with it, because I don't think it's ever going to work here now.
I don't think it's ever going to happen in Philadelphia.
This fan base had his back so much. We haven't rooted for a guy like we rooted for this guy. He comes in, we're rooting for him. He's just touching the basketball. He fucking stinks. We're still rooting for him. and now he's like, now it's like issues. He doesn't know if he wants to stay in Philly, maybe get a clean start. Are you fucking kidding me?
Got baby
Like
monitors
this fucking
in the
guy,
house. Got
this
baby monitors.
fucking
You're
guy.
in one of the toughest cities to play in professional sports, and everybody in this city is blowing you. and you still don't know if this is the right environment.
Bro,
for you get the
you're an
fuck
NBA
outta here.
player, and you shot a three-pointer and
send him
made
to
it
fucking
and got a standing
Saskatchewan.
ovation.
You clearly can't play them.
So
because you don't
Standing
have
out.
enough skill.
Standing
It's
out.
not about
Standing
that.
out, Chrome.
You clearly don't have it between the
Oh,
ears.
it's right
Is
here.
there-
That's the problem.
is there a hot take for the coming year?
Well, I was going to go what team is set up both for 2019. Which team set up the best, for 2019? And I think it's the Sixers. And I don't think it's even close. I don't know how close the Eagles are
I mean,
in that.
if your son's at QB.
They are. Then they're right. They're second.
Say, I actually think it's the Eagles.
Think it's the Eagles best set up
I
for
do.
2019?
You think going forward the Eagles are in the best situation to move? I don't know. I'm looking at the Sixers, and we're talking about even beyond this year.
The thing is, the
they
Sixers
got
are
Jimmy
young and
Butler.
getting better
You got to
and
get
better.
Jimmy Butler. They have a ton of cap space. If they can move Markelle, they got money for another max player beyond that.
And I don't disagree with that, but I look at the Eagles and I look at the guys that are coming up on free agency, and yeah, there's some guys that you want to re-sign, but I look at the Eagles and I go, okay, a 1, 2 2s, and 2 4s, I'm good.
Yeah, but I'm not good because they don't draft well to be good.
Well, they
Yeah,
better
that's
fucking
That's
draft
my
well.
concern. Like,
Howie-
I'm good with the picks. I
Guess
don't agree
what?
with you there.
Howie has
That-
never
but-
drafted
We
well.
have,
and-
we
but
have
if
to
they-
draft the tackle.
But you're absolutely right. And that first rounder should be a
Should
left
be a
tackle.
tackle.
That's got to be a left
I
tackle.
mean,
need a
listen,
tackle?
I would assume that Vitai's going to start next year.
Oh,
I
God.
just assume. I mean, he's had years in the system now.
Please no.
He did win a Super Bowl.
Can we
for him.
He was on the field.
Good for
Can
him.
we go
Well,
there
listen,
for a second,
I
though?
understand, I understand what you're saying.
So did Trent
But
Dilfer.
just let me go. I assume that Vitai will be our starting left tackle next year.
hope
But he's not good enough.
No, he's
so
not.
that's why you got to draft one.
He's
All
not.
right, so if they draft someone who beats him out, are you sold on Vitae or?
As a backup, I'm okay with him.
Okay, so I'm there with you because I'm in the same spot where
Because he can back up both.
and
I'm fine with that.
I'm perfectly fine with Vitae as a backup to left tackle, right tackle.
Yeah.
But if they draft somebody to come in and play left tackle who beats out Vitae, I got no problem with that. None whatsoever.
No,
I'm not sold on Vitae as a starter at all.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, we're good.
I'm just assuming it's tough. I mean, if we draft a first round, then yeah, he definitely could. But if we go like late second,
Right.
or second round pick, then maybe he needs a little time.
What, do you
Maybe
think the
Vitai's
Eagles
gotta
are
start
best?
First.
You think the Eagles are in the best position for 2019?
No, I would say Sixers. Because Ben and Joe are just going to keep getting better and
Yeah,
better. So,
that's why it's gotta
I mean,
be
it's,
them.
they're 22 and 24. Right?
Definitely Sixers contingent on extending Butler, which I don't think is going to be an issue whatsoever. But you can
No,
never
he's
say
I think Butler wants to come back
yeah.
here big time.
You
And
can
listen,
never
even if
say
he did,
never.
even if he essentially didn't, there's a
He's
lot of guys
staying.
out there that you can throw a lot of money
Yeah,
at, and
yeah.
you have your two big pieces still. You know, you got to look at it like, does JJ come back? So there's money off the cap books there. There's money coming off in ways, and so you have the money to go get a KD.
Well, it's interesting.
Jimmy,
It's
you do.
interesting that you say that because for me, with JJ, I feel like JJ got all of his money like in a big way last year.
Yeah.
I love JJ.
And
though.
now,
Me too.
Like
One of my
he-
favorite guys.
He knows the deal. Like they're just going to drop him down in salary little by little by little every year because they paid him big time to be that guy who was like the poster child of the rebuild. But they're going to keep him year after year after year for less and less and less and less until he gets to a point where he's just like, yeah, I can't take that.
I love JJ so much. And you're
playing
right.
the best
he is
ball
the
of his
post-
career. Too.
He is.
He is.
I mean, he
And I
play-
hate
he
Duke.
can't play defense.
I fucking hate Duke,
No,
but
he's
he's the
fine.
man.
No,
But
me
he
too.
is. He's
I
a
absolutely
shooter.
hate Duke.
And
But you talk
I'll
about
take that open look for him in a Christmas day for the win. I'll take it every time.
I agree. I
Every
agree.
time that we're on the road.
And you
Fair.
know what? And you know what? He'll hit that more
7 out
times
of
than
10.
not. Yeah,
7 out of
I
10.
agree with that. Yeah. That
6
was a
out
great
of
shot.
10.
I
Maybe,
hope
maybe 5.
I
From
hope
the foul line, it's
Come
a
on.
foul line jumper.
17-footer.
listen, I
17-footer.
I hope
Should bury that.
6
Yeah.
and a half.
7 out of 10.
I hope,
6 and a half.
I hope that they can bring him back next year. But if they can move Markelle
I'd hit 10 out of
to open up enough money to sign another max guy, he's expendable.
All right.
He's got to be expendable because you're going to need that money to bring in another max guy. So
What, JJ, you're saying? Well, look,
Yeah.
well, what you're saying also, they could be grooming Landry to kind of take his role.
and I'd be
he's
fine
cheaper.
with that.
And
I
he's
would
cheaper.
be fine with that. Absolutely.
I just, it's the Sixers to me because it's just everything's moving upward for us.
Well,
You know?
look-
like, guess what? In a year, it's gonna be the mid 80s again in a year, and it's gonna be Philly,
Boston, and LA.
LA.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room for a second, though. So, did
Who said
Did
that?
did Furkan
You?
fuck himself by talking shit about the contract extension when, because I mean, realistically,
that?
Furkan Korkmaz. So when you look at the Sixers, Boston, LA, whatever, there's only going to be one guy who is quote unquote open for debate after the end of this year, and it's Furkan, and it's whether they extend him or not. And they didn't offer the extension right out of the gate. He got pissy about it. He started talking shit about his playing time. They said, no, we're not offering the extension. Now, all of a sudden, he's getting minutes, and he's productive. So, is that...
I like a little Furkan.
Is that the elephant in the room? Did he screw himself by talking shit, or is he the guy, next year that they're going to re-sign, and all of a sudden, that's going to be offense off the bench?
I think he could go both ways. I think he could go somewhere else, but I think, if he's...
Yeah.
We'll see how he plays in the second half and if he gets better. But I think he's another guy on a cheap that you can get back to sort of replace the JJ if JJ's not back.
And he's a guy.
You know what I mean?
And he's a guy right now who he has an axe to grind. So he's going to play for every minute. He's gonna
Agreed.
make every minute count.
My whole thing with that, though, is if for whatever reason they lose JJ and Furkan after this season, they have nothing from behind the arc. I mean, literally nothing.
Well, Shamwell.
Okay.
Shamwell.
All right, Shamwell.
Do you guys have a national headline, something anywhere in any sport that you think is going to be something to look for next year?
Well, I think you better look out for the Chicago Bears.
My boy Mitchell? Nobody on this motherfucking platform was all behind him except for me.
Yeah, I'm not behind him at all.
Were you?
Not behind him at all.
You can ask him.
I'm behind.
I'm a Mitchell guy.
I'm behind front
Frodo
fours.
knows it. Who's been Mitchie Poo's guy the whole time?
You guys can blow Mitchell. It's not about Mitchell.
It is about Mitchell.
It's a lot about that defense.
It is because
you need a quarterback.
It is because you need a quarterback to be the catalyst. It is
okay,
the defense as well. But
game managers have won Super Bowls, babe. Okay, game managers have won Super Bowls.
Okay, babe.
You said it right here. You fucking both said it right here to each other. Now you two. Now you two don't believe a game manager can win the whole thing when you two just sat here and went Trent Dilfer.
Here we go.
Went Trent Dilfer with each other. But now a game manager can't win it all with a real good defense.
Who's saying that?
I'm just saying you're crowning Mitchell because I'm putting the Bears as a headline.
We're not crowning them.
You just did. Both of you. Oh, you went around the room. You were finding out how many hands will go up that I love Mitchell.
We like Mitchell.
All right, but you were gauging the room too. Were you not? Were you not saying how many people said that I love Mitchell? That I said I love Mitchell before?
See, I don't necessarily love Mitchell, but I love me some Khalil Mack.
Creating a narrative over here that wasn't true.
If the Eagles
all
get
we
in
said
there,
was nobody believed in Mitchell.
If the Eagles get in, they're going to play Chicago, and he's touting them as their
he's saying
as
that,
a headline.
No, what you're saying is you're saying that Mitchell would have no impact on it because it's only the defense.
You ready?
You still need a quarterback to be the catalyst of that team through a fucking 17-week season.
You just need a guy not to turn the football over.
Patriots' first playoff game, get embarrassed. Brady retires.
Oh, I like that.
I do like that.
And Belichick
and I hope for
retires.
it. Well,
I don't think Belichick's going, but I think if they get embarrassed, Brady's going.
Brady should have retired already.
He should have. Fucking deflategate bullshit.
Prick.
Let's say I like that one.
Oh.
Let's go.
Let's go fuck.
Come back to me. Let me think of something.
Let's go, Flyers.
What do you got? What do you got, big dog?
I was leaning towards the Bears.
Bears.
A little bit, just because I love the D.
Bears.
So you think they're going to win the Super Bowl?
Well,
Their defense is awesome.
I was leaning there. Because I like Nagy. You know, he's got a lot of Doug, Andy in him. Obviously, they're built with enough weapons offensively to be able to get it done. So I like the way they're built, and I like the way they built with their front seven.
Yeah.
And they got a real good secondary out there, and they can keep games close with anybody. They create a ton of turnovers. Mitchell doesn't turn the football over. Usually that stuff you can run the ball. Usually that stuff equals success when you're talking about, January, February football. So I'll go on a limb since it's, a little hot take, but I'll go on a limb that the Bears are hoisting the Lombardi.
I'm going to stick.
Well, I'll say.
Real quick, I'm going to stick with this was my preseason pick, and I'm going to stick with it with everything I've seen this year. My headline for 2019 is Phillip Rivers finally gets his ring. I really believe in the Chargers. I think Phillip Rivers is one of, if not the most underrated quarterback of his generation. He's never been put in a position to succeed. They never had a great head coach. They've never really had an offense and defense. He had great weapons on offense when he had, LaDainian Tomlinson and Antonio Gates.
But no defense.
But there was never a full puzzle
good-
piece put together.
Real good safety out
They
there,
had
too.
Norv Turner.
That's
what they had.
If there's a guy in the league for me that deserves to have a championship and get some recognition because he's been lost in the shuffle, it's Philip Rivers, and I think he gets it this year.
You know what? I'm gonna up my headline.
He's
real
a
quick.
whiny bitch.
I'm gonna
He
turn
whines after every fucking play. Whiny bitch
So
Rivers.
what? So does
Cry me-
Jordan,
cry
and
me
so
a
does
fucking-
LeBron. Get
Cry
the
me a
fuck.
fucking Rivers.
Listen, I'm
okay?
going my 2019.
Seriously.
2019
I don't
local.
like Phil Rivers.
Local headline.
Fuck.
Tying
fuck
it
the
into the
Chargers.
national one. Carson Wentz MVP, like we were talking about
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
Carson Wentz 2019 NFL MVP.
I'm going.
So
I'm
I'll
going
go a
Saints.
little double dip.
I'm going
That's fine.
Saints.
You can double dip.
Saints-
Carry the year over.
We don't
Saints
get mad
win
at
the
double
Super
dips.
Bowl. Saints win the Super Bowl. Drew Brees retires.
I like it. I could see it.
See, now this is aggressive.
Rides off into the
This is
sunset.
aggressive because Saints win in the Super
Teddy
Bowl.
Bridgewater's their quarterback
Saints
next
win in
year.
the Super Bowl, yes.
Back to back.
Brees retires.
Bridgewater
That's
trouble waters.
aggressive.
Back to back.
That's real aggressive. I like it.
Bridgewater trouble waters. Bridgewater's starting this week, I think, for him.
Yeah, that's correct. I'll give you my local
Ready?
one. I'll give you my local
Teddy
one.
ball
Give
game.
me your local and national, and then I'll pop off and let one of these
Okay.
guys take my headset. Go ahead.
Here, hold on.
There we go. Trent talk.
So for local, I'm going to
Line
go
change.
with, and it's a lengthy one.
Yes,
Three
an impromptu line change.
faces of Philly sports:
Okay.
an MVP, a chip, and a firing.
Okay.
The MVP is Carson. The chip is the Eagles.
Okay.
And the firing is Gabe.
I like it.
I hope
can see
that's
it.
right. I'm on board with that.
That would be.
And I think all
can take
three
that.
are
I
realistic.
can take
I
that.
That
think
would
all
be
three are
very. That would be
Let's
very
get it.
ideal. So, what's your national, Ryan?
I'm going to say end of a dynasty. Patriots. They're not going to win a playoff game.
Okay.
They might not. I like that too. They might not.
Who's taking my spot here?
The thing is, they're going to be at home for the first
You know what? I'm going to take 2 seconds real quick. Sit here. I'm going to take 2 seconds real quick and just to give a quick shout out. And me and Tom, we were talking about it.
We sharing seats over there?
We are. We're sharing. Come on. Lap on, buddy. Quick shout out. Big fans of A2D, South Philly String Band. Mummers Parade's coming up. My man right here. So I want to give a shout out to South Philly. Good luck this year. They're taking out a Rio de Janeiro theme. And also to my fucking Mummers Brigade, which would be Riverfront. Carson's Wenches is our theme, and we're going to win Eagles suit.
Cheap
And
plug.
And I can tell you right
Cheap
now, on this show, I'm going to wear my wench suit, especially if the Eagles get to the playoffs.
Oh, Jesus.
I will wear my wench suit on the air for an entire show, and I'll even paint my face for that shit on Birds of a Feather.
He'll
Mark it.
even paint his face.
Happy New Year, everybody.
That's
Love the fam. I'm passing over to Frank. Frank, take a seat. Why didn't you sit on my lap, you son of a bitch?
Damn.
So
He didn't want to talk about that first thing that popped up.
I had no idea you were a mummer.
okay.
I did not know that.
Me either.
The more you
5'10".
know. The more you know.
10 minutes. Okay.
Well, I didn't know. I want to join. That sounds fun. I always
Oh,
wanted,
we
I always
love
wanted
you,
to do
Chrome.
something like that.
So
But we still love you.
a couple questions. All right.
Yeah.
Your big bold prediction. It could be national or Philly. I'm going to give you. It could be either. If you want to give both, that's fine. In the next calendar year. So next year, what's from now to next year? What's going to happen? Bold prediction. It could either be local or it could be national.
Local. Carter Hart wins Vesna.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Pete.
Local for me will be the Sixers make it to the finals. National, I think Tiger wins a major.
There we go. There we go.
My breakout
Just brought
player
a-
of the year is Zaire Smith, though.
Really?
Coming off the foot and peanut issues. I like
Zaire
it.
Smith.
All
I
right.
I think he means more to the Sixers than they even realize right now.
Listen, if that's the case, I'm not complaining. Now, do I agree? No. But listen, I'll be happy if I'm wrong.
Yes.
I'll be happy if I'm dead wrong.
Yes.
Frank, your bold
My
prediction.
Philly. Carson Wentz still keeps the keys to Doug Peterson's offense and is your starting quarterback for 2019 because Foles will not be around.
Is that even?
I
Is that
agree.
bold though? Is that bold? That's like what.
Nope.
That's
For
like
a lot
what
of people,
should
it could
happen.
be.
But
It's what should
Yeah,
happen.
that's
Absolutely.
right.
It's what
Right,
for
right.
a lot
Should
of people could
happen.
be.
All right.
But they are not going to re-sign Nick Foles.
All right. All right.
National-wise,
National. Yeah.
this one's probably not bold either, but looking at it, Trevor Lawrence, quarterback for Clemson. Heisman Trophy winner.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Now, for me, I'm going to keep with the MVP thing. I'm going to say the bold prediction for Philly is that we have 2 MVPs. You can guess who it is. Because honestly,
JoJo?
Embiid,
JoJo and
Wentz.
Carson.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Wentz is going to come back and absolutely be great next year because, oh, wait, he has a full year to recover. He has a
Exactly.
training camp. Hopefully he has a new offensive coordinator, which if we all agree, by the way, like side note, if the Eagles make the playoffs, Mike Groh's not getting fired.
Right.
Like, we all agree with that?
Yeah.
That's kind of why, in my gut, I don't think they're going to make it.
Because you don't want Mike Groh back.
Bingo.
Is that a hope or is that a...
Well, the hope is Mike
Because it's
Groh
like a
doesn't come
curse
back,
in
but it's still-
disguise. It's like if you make the playoffs, if you quote-unquote overachieve compared to what we were
Right.
like this time last month, it can kind of screw us because we're not going to have the excuse to
Exactly.
really clean
Right.
house with
And,
personnel.
and especially you don't know what's going to happen with Nick Foles after the season. Is he going to retire? Are the Eagles going to resign him? That's the other thing.
No, I mean the only way they do that is if they do a whole sign and trade. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like if,
right.
but for them to do that, Foles needs to win a playoff game.
He needs to
Right.
win a playoff
Well-
game, which it's
Very possible.
still possible. Surprisingly.
I have a dance partner in that theory
Yep.
that you don't need. I think Foles, you could trade him now. Pick up the option, you trade him to Jacksonville, and you get back Jalen Ramsey.
Ooh.
And I'm happy.
Ooh.
Well, here's a question
I'm happy.
I
for
like that.
2019.
I like that thinking.
Where,
Yeah.
no, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Which team will Nick Foles be playing for next season, game 1?
Hot take wise, I think it's the New York Giants. I think that's the dog. I think it's a dark horse because Shermer's there, has
Yeah.
familiarity with Foles,
Exactly.
and they may make the tough decision. They already put a poll out,
Yep.
6,000 responses in New York. Who's going to do better with the Giants next year?
Right.
87% Nick Foles over 13% Eli Manning.
Exactly.
It's a proven commodity. You can still draft a young QB,
Yep.
and you can sign Foles to a 3-year, $60 million.
Yeah, but
60
didn't
and-
Giants already confirm that Eli will be the starting
But here,
quarterback?
but
be the
things
starter,
change though.
but
things
then-
change.
Could change.
And here's the other
If he
thing.
wins a playoff game and then he doesn't resign, things definitely
and the
change.
other thing
And they don't have to
was-
draft
There's
a
a
kid.
lot of options out there, though.
Exactly.
Oh, of
but
course.
there was also the notion that the Giants, all right, might trade for Justin Herbert, but Herbert's staying another year at Oregon.
Going
So-
along with things
going along
change.
with that.
You know what
so
I mean?
maybe that does open up the opportunity to where maybe the Giants may need to trade for a quarterback. Nick Foles could be one of those options. It could be Nick Foles.
Yeah.
It could be Teddy Bridgewater. It could be somebody else. Even the long rumors of Colin Kaepernick coming back in the NFL are still lingering around.
I'll give you 3 teams, all right? And just tell me agree or disagree because I think there's a few candidates for
Yeah.
Foles if he's not with the Eagles next year. My number 1, and this is coming out of Tampa.
Okay.
I think Winston, first off, they need to pay Winston. They're not going
Right.
to.
No.
At least they
Yeah,
shouldn't.
he hasn't proven that he's a quarterback in the league.
Fitzpatrick
Yeah.
is not a starter, and he's going to be. I mean, he
And
could
even-
end up being our backup quarterback.
even
Don't
when
be
you give-
surprised.
I'd be perfectly happy
That's
with
fine
Ryan
with me.
Fitzpatrick
And
as
even if you give Fitzpatrick starter money, he underperforms.
And it looks like, I mean, Dirk Cutter said yesterday, oh, he's not sure of his future.
Right.
That means he knows that he's
Yeah.
not going to be
And-
back, and they're going to go through an entire reboot. So you're going to do that with another
Which
quarterback.
also means that new front office, new
Yeah, the
coaching staff.
entire
It's-
refresh.
It's a mess.
Second option, obviously the Jaguars. They have the defense. If Leonard Fournette can stay healthy,
Right.
they have the run game. They need some weapons on the outside. They've been hurt,
Yeah.
obviously, but Blake Bortles is not going to get it
He's
done,
not the
ladies
gu-
and
he's not
gentlemen.
the
Never
guy.
was the answer. The complete opposite of Bret Hart. He never was the best. Never will be. You know what I mean?
Yep, that's true. Third option, I think the Titans are an option. Because, again, Mariota,
His health.
he can't stay on the field. He's been hurt more than he's been on the field.
Right.
That's been his biggest issue, in my opinion. He's shown that he can play in the league. He's shown he can be a quarterback. He just can't stay healthy.
And they got the pieces too. You have Deion Lewis, you have Derrick Henry, you have Corey Davis, Taywan Taylor, a healthy Rashard Matthews.
Yeah.
So
They
they
need-
have the pieces on offense. It's just they need the quarterback.
Let me give you a dark horse.
they need to
team.
get Delaney
Frank,
Walker healthy too.
Yeah.
as
In a
well.
minute,
Delaney
sub with
Walker.
Ralphie. Ralphie's only been for 1, by the way.
Here.
I want to get him back on.
Here, I'm going to jump off and Ralphie joins.
So my
I'll wrap
dark-
this
my
up.
dark horse team for Foles, Cincinnati Bengals.
What's the
I got
what's
a better
the deal
dark
with,
horse.
What's the contract for Andy Dalton?
I think he's up after this year.
Well, if that's the case, then absolutely.
Or either he's up or they can cut him for dead money.
Ah, well, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, I like that.
What about the Washington Redskins?
That's
Could be.
see, that's the other one.
See, here's this. The only reason I bring him up is Alex Smith's future is
completely in doubt.
completely.
See, I don't
in
think he
doubt.
plays again. I don't,
No.
and it's a shame. It's very sad. But I just think first off, it's not like he's 25 anymore.
Yeah.
The thing that sucks is that he had guaranteed money on the table, which I don't know what happens with that necessarily. I don't know if they owe it because it
Almost
wasn't
like
their
a
choice.
severance package, I would have to think.
I would agree with that.
Or even Denver. Denver was another one I didn't think
Well,
of
if it's
until now.
guaranteed money, he still gets that money no matter what.
But is there some kind of loophole because it was guaranteed
Well,
money if he was
there
playing
is-
and if he's
there is-
retired?
if there is no loophole, then there's no loophole and he gets that money.
Yeah, I just know the whole deal with the NFL. If you
It's almost
retire
like
with
how
money on
the,
your plate,
It's almost like how the Joel Embiid contract is.
like incentives?
There's
Incentive
loopholes
based?
in it with the injuries. If he gets
Yeah.
injured again,
Right.
we don't owe you 25 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Type of stuff like that.
now the other team that I can think of, honestly, when you said the Broncos, it's interesting. What's up, brother? Well, I didn't know. The Bronco. Who said the Broncos? Who said the Broncos?
I did.
I disagree with that because they're looking at Keenum as a bridge.
Yeah.
And listen,
You can't go from Keenum to
Elway
Foles.
has shown he cannot draft a quarterback at all. He really can't sign a quarterback. So if they want a cheat code, yeah, Nick Foles, obviously.
Yeah.
I just think that Elway has like a 3-year plan. They're not gonna get rid of Elway. Obviously, they're gonna go in the long term with that. They're gonna build up their outside receivers because right now their entire offensive unit is young.
Yeah.
It's young, especially now that they don't have DT.
Right.
So they're gonna find an identity there. Their defense is always gonna be above average to great.
Right.
Yeah.
And then going into next draft, I mean, this year you don't have a draft for quarterbacks. You have like one or two that maybe could
That's
be
what makes
anything.
the free
Well, at this
agents-
point, it's only
free
one.
agent market for quarterbacks.
True.
So
It's only one right
Well,
now.
exactly. I honestly think if they go outside the box and they go free agents, that's Joe Flacco's. That's Joe Flacco's
Oh,
team.
yeah, Joe
you got
Flacco's.
Flacco, you got Bridgewater, you got Foles,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the sleeper. This is a sleeper. We're not sure because crazy shit happens in Oakland. Derek Carr may be on the trading block.
Yeah.
Yep.
Matt Stafford may be on the trading block.
Well, there's rumors about that the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we have never seen a free agent QB market like this in the NFL, if ever.
Yeah.
If ever.
True. It's very true.
Yeah, let's go with Nathan Peterman in Oakland. Yes.
Well, here, let's go right down the line with like national predictions for 2019. I'll just go with the projected free agent quarterbacks. You tell me and you tell the people which teams they'll be playing for. Foles, I'll go Tampa. You'll go You said Giants?
The Giants is a long shot. In my heart
Okay.
of hearts, I think it's either Tampa or it's Miami.
Okay. Miami's the other one.
Oh, Miami is another
See,
one.
there's so many options for
scenarios.
Foles now that he's playing again.
Yeah.
A month ago there was a market for Foles, but very, very small compared to now.
Which quietly helps the Eagles because a team can say, well, we want to trade for him, and they know they want him. If they're willing to dance, the Eagles can pick up the option and then trade him to the team of his choosing.
Yeah.
So in a way, that's my biggest thing with Foles. I'm going to let you guys go. Is last year in this situation, we still had him for this year. So it kind of is like, okay, if he has a good season, he won Super Bowl MVP, if he has stock, we can get blown away. He's helping the Eagles. Right now, if he does what we're supposed to do tomorrow and he wins and gets in the playoffs and maybe wins a game, he doesn't do shit for the Eagles. The Eagles don't get nothing back from that. You know what I mean? So, like, at that point, it's like, what have you done for us? Like,
Yeah.
Agreed.
what have you contributed? You know what I mean?
Foles will be starting for.
Honestly, I like the Jacksonville Jaguars. I
All
think
right.
he could be a good fit in that offense.
Yeah.
Ralphie?
Oakland.
Oh, John. John grew. All right, so where would Derek Carr be?
Jacksonville?
Giants.
Interesting.
I like that.
I like that. Okay.
I like that a
Yeah.
lot.
Okay.
So both Carr brothers wind up playing for the Giants.
How about that?
Yeah, David and Derek did that.
David did he backed up Kerry Collins, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I think, how much more time we got, Ron?
About 7 minutes.
7 minutes. I will say this. Now, this is not the 4 for 4 related.
Okay.
This is a bold take, and
right.
I see it happening. You lazy bookings, if you don't know, it's a show on A2D platform as well. I predict that Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch will headline WrestleMania.
Oh, I agree with that.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
I'll add Charlotte to that.
I think
Make it a triple threat?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think Becky wins the Women's Royal Rumble. They're already setting that up. And Rousey, look, Brock is Brock, but Roundy's the biggest straw that they got.
All right.
Round is the biggest straw that they got.
2 minutes. All right.
So that's just my completely off the wall.
Final question, and I know I'm sure all of us on our own shows will be doing this as well, but a little pre-Week 17 Super Bowl predictions while we have everyone here.
We
The
can't do
two
it on my
teams.
show, unfortunately.
So here you go, Bri. This
Right,
is why
this is
we're
my spot.
here.
That's why the
This
spotlight's
is
on
why
me.
we're here, Bri.
Spotlight's on
You
me.
lead us off.
Let's
you
go.
lead us off. The two teams representing in the Super Bowl.
Saints.
Go team.
I got the Saints out of the NFC
Uh-huh.
Just do it. Just say it.
and the Patriots.
Just
I
do
think
it.
the Patriots are. They'll rep the AFC again.
Hello.
Ralphie, who is your Super Bowl prediction right now heading into Week 17?
Well, I'm gonna go with Brian with the Patriots until they're not the
Until proven
Kings anymore in the
otherwise.
AFC, and I'll go Saints as well. I got the same matchup.
Same
I really
matchup.
do.
Okay, for me, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say Seahawks and Chargers.
Wow, that'd be a good Super Bowl. That'd be a
Seahawks,
good
Chargers.
Super Bowl.
Seahawks, Chargers.
I'm also going Seahawks. And I'm also going Chargers.
Oh.
I was dead wrong on the Seahawks. I thought they were going to be a third-place team at best. They
So did
changed
I.
their identity. Pete Carroll, Coach of the Year.
Yeah. Ooh. I think, me personally, I think it's Anthony Lynn. That's
I like
it's
that.
Anthony Lynn or Frank Reich. I mean, Frank Reich, Andrew Luck didn't even play fucking football
Listen,
last
I
year.
like Frank Reich. I think he'll be
Didn't
Coach
play
of the Year.
football last year.
Well, see, I go Pete Carroll because the Chargers, in my opinion, have the best roster in football. You
Okay.
cannot say that about the Seahawks.
No.
Their roster is still changing every week. The Chargers knew, hey, we have a top 3 roster at the minimum. We probably have the best.
Right.
So I think Lynn's done a great job, obviously. But Lynn has all of that to work with. Carroll has had to change his identity and his team's identity in the course of 4 or 5 months. So,
I mean, I like Frank Reich. He took a 3-win team last year
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 and
to
13.
being on the birth of
4.
Okay. Fickle.
fickle. So I mean, he took a shit team that was at the bottom of the league last year, and they're fighting for a playoff spot now.
All right.
And they have a very healthy Andrew Luck, and I think that makes everything easier for him.
okay.
So I think it seems we have to stretch some more time
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Things happen behind the scenes. You never need to know that. But listen. So biggest free agent addition for the Eagles. I have mine. I have two. Actually. I have two. One, because we're losing
Yeah, I ate
Brandon
'em
Graham. I
all.
think we're losing Brandon Graham to the Colts.
Okay.
I think,
You bored me with your talk,
and
sir.
I do think that we need a defensive pass rusher. So I have two.
Okay.
Either Frank Clark from Seattle, or the guy who got the 15-yard roughing the passer penalty on Nick Foles, and that's Davion Connolly.
Ooh.
No, those are my dark horses for free agents pickups for the Eagles.
Ralph, you have one? Big free agent get for the Eagles? This will be the final question. before we-
I wish.
Yeah.
I wish. I guess
What
when
is
I
happening
want
over here
I
to
guess
my
when
left?
I want to go with free agent. If he's on the trade market and Jacksonville says he's on the trade market, go get Jalen Ramsey.
Okay, that counts. That works.
I don't know if I have one. I wouldn't even have thought about
I'll
it.
take my statement and I'll turn it into a question. Deshaun Jackson, yes or no?
No.
Hell no.
For cheap?
No.
No.
I'm good.
Hell no.
Okay, good. Absolutely. Golden Tate, re-sign?
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Wait, hold on. The only way I'm re-signing Golden Tate, you get a new offensive coordinator in here.
Sorry, not happening. It's not happening.
Nah. I tell you, Nelly over Tate every day of the week, twice on Sunday.
Listen, I got
5 minutes with his girl.
So wait, do we get everybody in for like a group shot at the end? Like
sit on laps.
My lap is off limits.
I'm laughing right on Ralphie.
Don't. Come on, bro. Don't do it. Stop.
We saw Terrence go ghost last night.
Yes, we did.
Well, with about a minute and a half to go,
Wrap it up, big boy.
we're going to close out the year, hopefully with a win tomorrow, hopefully with a loss
I don't
out
think
in Minnesota.
When is book it? Like Jameis, eat that bitch.
Yes. Listen, to all of you guys that watch on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, wherever you're finding us on the website, wherever. If you first started watching us today or you watched us starting all the way back almost 3-4 years ago, we thank you. And Tom thanks you. And we all thank you.
Yes.
We appreciate you because we do it for you.
Yes.
Yes?
For the fan, by the fan.
10:30 tomorrow morning.
Cheap plug. Agree to disagree. We got Monday, Sports Hounds. Tuesday, Birds with a Feather. Wednesday, Fixed Name in the PM. Thursday, Lazy Booking on a hiatus. We'll be back in a month.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Hockey Happy Hour Friday. We got Philly Sports Guys Saturday. The Hooligans.
Yes.
So for all of us here, Wilson, Mr. Thomas Arnone, Chrome, Michael Matarek, Ryan Brodo, Pete, we got Bry, we got Ralphie, we got Mr. Vespi on the ones and twos. Thank you all. We'll see you.
Namaste, everyone.